everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Name It or Flame It! Like, we're nearly at episode 20! This is insane! We're actually fucking spamming through this shit! Today, I'm joined with two Division 4 players, both from TSB Academy. We've got Bob Stroyer and Ro. How's it going, boys?
Hello, hello.
Hey, right. So, just in case you've not seen the show before, how couldn't you? But, I'm going to explain the rules, and then we're going to jump right into the first question, okay? So, basically, you're going to have 5 multiple choice questions. You just need to write your answer in the chat in Discord, and whoever gets it right makes the other person answer one of these 5 flame questions in the middle, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. So when you type in your answers, try to be as accurate as possible in writing down what the answer is. So if there's like 2 answers that both have one word in common, make sure that you write it correctly so there's no confusion, okay?
Can't make promises. We'll try.
So, we're just going to start. Question number 1. What have we got? We got, which of these champions do not have an ultimate skin? Oh, it says Kaiser on the end because I had to copy and paste it down there. So, Udia, Ezreal, Kaiser, or Misfortune? Alright, well, I mean, that was easy. I accidentally fucking hinted. I know that was an easy one anyway, but I also kind of hinted it. But, even though you both got it right, Ro, you typed it first, so that means that you win. Good job, boy.
Yes.
So you get to make Bob answer any one of those 5 questions, any one you want.
I'll give him question 5.
5. If you could remove one person from the community, who would it be and why? Give him the ban hammer. Anyone.
Oh, this honest sleep guy, he gets me so triggered. he's addicted to Triforce. Like even on champions like Renekton, he should be going like Black Cleaver. He said they should buy Triforce every time.
Wait, that's your reason for wanting to remove him from the community? Not because he loves to spend all day every day overhyping himself, but because he buys Triforce?
No, it's because he tells everybody to buy Triforce.
Right, okay.
Better in some situations. I mean, I don't really hate anybody, so...
Well, I mean, that's no fun. You must hate somebody. There's gotta be someone.
No, not really.
Man, life's no fun if you don't hate people. But it's okay. I'll accept your answer. It's understandable. We'll go right on to question number 2, with Ro in the lead for now. We got, how much blue essence does Jax cost? 450, 1350, 4800, or 6900?
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's fucking 1350. Good job, boy. Right, we're back to 1-1.
Really?
Look at that. Yeah. He's. I thought. When you think about it, it seems like one of the cheap ones, but he's not. No, he's been fucking trolled by Riot themselves.
They always want your money for the OP stuff.
Perfect. Go on. You get to make him answer any of the questions. Not number 5. That one's gone.
Number 1. Who's the worst player in your division?
Ooh. Well, there's this one guy. He's shit talking me always. While he's a sub himself. He's drowned.
Who?
It's drowned. Minecraft drowned. It's
Who
a
the
really
fuck
special
is
guy.
that?
Yeah, he's supposed to be a support, and I played like 5 games with him.
On what team?
But then he is on OPNA now, if I'm correct.
Perma-random. What can you do?
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, he told me that Kalista support was really good, and yeah, I
mean,
can
that's
tell
all
you
you
from
need.
experience, it's not that good.
That's all you really need to know. If you
Yeah.
needed personal experience to be able to tell someone Callisto support was bad, then there is something going wrong there, mate.
Kinda yikes.
Yeah, just a little bit. But alright, I mean, fair play. Sometimes it's okay for perma-randoms to get flamed too, even though it's unlikely anyone knows who they are. Well, we'll go on to the next question. It's all good. Number 3, right? We got, what is Aatrox's passive called? Darkin stance, blood stance, infernal stance, or Deathbringer stance?
As an Aatrox player, I think I've got this one right.
Go on, you got an answer? Right? Yeah, it was fucking Deathbringer. Man, why'd you put Deathbringer? Mate, if Bob answers first and he's got it right, and you've also put the same answer, it means nothing. You may as well take a gamble and put something else.
I
Come
mean,
on.
I didn't need to think about it. Ro probably did.
I didn't even know you were an Aatrox player. That one's I fully entered you, Ro, mate. My
Yeah,
bad.
it's kind of rigged, but yeah,
Right,
that's how
but
it goes, right?
yeah, exactly. It's all good. It's all good. So, Bob, mate, you get to make him answer another question.
Most overrated player, number 3.
Ooh, Bauer by far.
I mean, that was easy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Why though?
You know, he was doing the ranking thing at the start of the season,
Mhm.
and he was like in the top, and then when his team is like at the bottom, so it's a difference there. Should not be there.
True. I mean, fair. I mean, like, what can you do when you're as bad as Bauer is as a person and as a
Yeah.
League of Legends player? So,
Oh well, he's trying.
poor dude. He's just a kid. It's not his fault. Actually, I can't say that.
Well, he kinda did.
Aye, right, okay. Question number 4. Man, we are smashing through these. These are going so fast. What the fuck? So it's 2-1 to Bob. Stroyer, right?
Wait.
So-
Let me get ready to type this now.
okay, right. Get ready. Are you ready?
Kinda.
Okay. Question number 4. How many skins does Warwick have? 7, 9, 11, or 12? Oh, so close. No, it's 12. He has 12
Okay.
skins, including his base skin. He has 12 skins.
Damn.
Bruh. He has admittedly, one of them's his base skin, and one of them is a duplicate, because he's got Earth the Manatee Warwick, and then fucking
Grey
Earth
Warwick.
It's like they're both the same skin, but they were released twice.
Yeah, but I didn't calculate the base skin, so.
Yeah, I mean, to be,
yeah.
yeah, fair play. That's my
Yeah.
bad. I didn't write it in there. Oh, you know what? You know, I'm gonna give you it. Yeah, you win that one, just because it's
What
my
is
fault.
this?
Hey, look, it's my fault for not writing the base skins included. Okay, if you're ignoring base skin, he does have 11. That's pretty. Right, fair play. I'll give you it. So it's 2-2, and you get to make him answer another question.
I give him my question too. We saved
Question
the
number
juicy
2.
one.
Who's the worst team you've ever played against in VL?
I don't. I like to say. I think I'm gonna say Full Mental Jackets. They're like really bad.
Kind of cowboy. Yeah, understandable. I mean, I don't know whether they're the worst
Bad.
team, but they are pretty fucking. When you've got the likes of Tempest, who are somehow a division above you, you know. But then again, I doubt you've played Tempest.
I
so,
haven't played against them.
wait until you do, mate. Your opinion will change. That team is just. They are the fucking worst, dude. Grandmaster. They've got a fucking challenger coach. And no, I'm gonna go on a tangent if I start. They're so bad, dude.
Kinda
Right.
interested in the story now, but.
Yeah, look, right, they're just really, really bad. Like, so bad that even a challenger coach can't get them a win. Like,
Oh, he's
but-
trying. He's trying.
mate, he's trying his best, but there's only so much you can do when you're playing with players like that. Okay, right, last question, and it's 2-2, right? So whoever wins this takes it all. So after this next question, one of you is going to be officially dog shit at League of Legends. Are you both ready for that?
Sounds like me.
Yeah, sounds like him to be honest.
Okay, right, last one. What we got? What month in 2019 did Teamfight
Oh.
Tactics release?
I
Last
just-
one's got to be a
It's-
perma-rando.
It's Rift Rivals time, so it's like I think that was it maybe.
Take a guess.
I don't play the game.
Oh no! You were so close, Bob. Dude, it was June. was
I knew it was
June.
released in Rift Rivals.
Oh, it was
but I-
so close, man. But
Oh.
hey, this is a good outcome. So number 1, right?
That's correct.
Both of you, huh? No. So a best outcome, right? Firstly, you both get to answer this question, and it
Ooh.
means that the rock paper scissors tradition at the end actually means something. So, Bob, you answered first, mate. So you get to go first. Who is the worst player on your team?
Without a doubt, it's got to be Shelby. I mean, like people think he's really good, but he's actually really bad. He doesn't even know what a gank is, and he's a jungler.
Mate, is he the one with the fucking Peaky Blinders picture in Discord?
Yeah.
Not a
Ain't
fan,
it
mate. Yeah, get him gone.
Yeah,
Fuck him
he
off.
also he's like allergic to tanks. He's like, oh, my champion pool's really big. I play a lot of tanks, and then he names one tank.
That's the champion pool.
Alright, fair play. But now, Raul, mate, you got to answer, but you can't choose Shelby. You got to choose someone else.
I was committed to Shelby though.
No. You got to choose somebody else. Like, we know that Shelby's the worst player on your team, right? Who's the second worst player?
Oh, it's got to
it,
be
must,
me.
it must be Curly because he plays Zoe and it's just fuck
Oh,
Zoe.
yep.
Fuck the champion.
Wait, you have Curly on your team? No, I fully agree.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yep.
Alright, fair play. Right, I'm down. I like those answers. They're good. So, now, as is tradition here, at the end, we do a rock, paper, scissors to kind of for the extra point. However, it actually means something since you're 2-2. So, what I need to do is write rock, paper, scissors in chat. I'll count down from 3, and whoever wins this wins the game. So, you know, life's on the line here, boys. One of you is going to be officially shit at League of Legends after this. So, are you ready?
No.
Just write rock, paper, or scissors. Right. 3,
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
2, 1, go.
Destroy.
Absolutely. Come on.
And as predicted just moments ago, Bob Stroyer, mate, you are the winner, which does mean that Ro, mate, you are now 100% officially dog shit at League of Legends, mate. How's it feel?
Well, it kind of feels like usual.
Wait, what?
What? Nah. It feels kind of bad. I'm trying to carry the team, and then you'd still call dog shit. So yeah. I tried.
I mean, fair play. You just got smurfed on by a better player. What can you do?
Yeah.
Bob.
Well, yes, a sad Croco emo, right?
Bob, mate, speaking of better player, how does it feel to have outclassed Ro so spectacularly?
I mean, I knew this was coming, so it's nothing new to me. But yeah, it's all good.
Alright, fair play. I like it. So, now that we're done, right? Bob, mate, you won, so you get to go first. There's like 70 odd people watching on stream. You have like 30 seconds. Off you go, mate. Anyone you want to call out? Anyone you want to flame? Anything like that? You be nice to people, I guess, but go on, 30 seconds.
Okay, Lev, stop spamming general chat, please. It hurts my ears.
Yeah, fair play, understandable.
Yeah.
Actually, can we go back to which community we're gonna member we're gonna kick out and choose Lev instead?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Anything else?
I don't know how OPNA lost to FMG. That's kind of trolling to do that, but yeah.
Through sheer effort, probably.
I
Bro,
just make my-
bro, mate, it's on you. 30 seconds. Close us out. What you got?
Well, I'm still waiting for this Minecraft round to show up since he's always shit talking me. He's still on the bench, so it's kind of yikes.
Alright.
So if we play OPNA somehow in the bracketing, then I expect Minecraft round to be there.
Okay. Alright, fair play. Well, thank you both very much for being on. Really appreciate it. Good fun.
Thank you. That's fun.
Hope that everyone watching the stream enjoys the games to come. If I was more prepared, I'd have checked what they were, but I'm not. So here we are. Enjoy the stream, and we'll see you next time. Yeet.
See you around, man.
See ya.
Welcome everybody to Valence League Div 4. This is playoffs between Hentai Haven and the SlowBros Academy. My name is Alexander Laskamel, joined by Timon Faut Makadov. Welcome. How are you doing? How are you doing, Faut?
I'm doing great. That was a very nice intro as well. You
It's-
ready for some cool
got
games?
practice. I am ready for my voice to be extremely numb after about game 2 because Div 4.
Yeah, I probably won't even get to talk at all. Like, it's just gonna be only play-by-play.
Gonna be a lot of interrupting between these two teams. Actually, let's just run through the teams now. On the right side, we have the SlowBros Academy. On the red side, I should say, we have ABC Mantanky in the top lane, Shirtless in the jungle, Powerfurt in the mid lane, AD Reflection in the AD carry position, of course, and
Yeah, and
Lost
on the
Broken
blue
in
side,
support.
we've got Asko, Shenzhen, Big Urgen, I think it is, Sanvete, and Adorkable. So it's going to be a clash of titans, you know.
Of course, Ronnie on support is a mainstay of the Hentai Haven organization and always something to behold. Winner of the worst play of 2019 competition as well. But you know,
Jesus
she's good
Christ.
fun to play with. First bans coming out will both be junglers. Elise is Elise pretty meta right now, Fout?
No, she's not. But since Shenzhen's jungling, and that's apparently his most successful champ, looking at his OPGG, I guess that's why they banned him. I'm not really sure why, because it's not like a really good champ unless you can like set up dives in the early game pretty well, which I'm expecting them not to be able to. Yeah, you see that the Lilia ban comes out from Hentai Haven as well, because Shirtless has been spamming it quite a bit. But so far, no eval. Never mind. There it is.
there it is. There it is. You called it. You called it before draft, and there it is. Been complaining about it a little bit, and it is quite in the hands of the right jungler. It can be quite volatile. Of course, comfort picks in VL are quite common as well. Probably why the Elise was banned. You don't usually expect to see many dives, but you know, it's a comfort anyways. Lily,
It's
of course,
actually a
being
fast
very good.
pick ban as well. Like
I'm
it's
loving
just
it.
locking in the champs. Obviously, Caitlyn's gonna get banned on red side because otherwise blue side can just first pick it, and it's the strongest ADC at the moment. That means that they are just gonna first pick Ashe, which is I guess the second strongest, and then obviously Senna is gonna be the counter from it. But I don't know why they interlock Nautilus, because like just blinding support randomly when it's not necessary is kind of int. But I guess it's not as int if the enemy team just picks a bad matchup into it.
Not sure about the Lulu pick into the Nautilus.
Yeah, like if you're playing Nautilus, like especially because they ban Morgana themselves, right? So there's nothing that you can really play into the Nautilus, like where you can just keep the Ashe safe, and yeah, now Nautilus can just go for the Lulu instead. Like yeah, if you go for Ashe, Lulu can peel you, but if you just go for Lulu, what's you gonna do? Like absolutely zero. And then they lock the
Probably
Veigar. Like why are we still not seeing any junglers come through? Like
jungle dog roll. I mean, Div 4 understands it.
yeah,
Who
but
needs
like
jungle
in
diff?
general, you just like it almost always just blind the jungle, like if you have to.
Xerath. All right, Xerath Veigar mid lane matchup. That is not something you usually see this season, but of course, Div 4, anything can happen.
I mean, Seraph is good into like low mobility mages, so I'm expecting it to be actually good into Veigar, but that does also mean that Veigar can just like lane safely, because if he doesn't get poked, then he's just not gonna get like anything done, because like Seraph won't be able to punish him at all. Like he has no setup CC whatsoever, so Veigar can just stay at range, Seraph can just stay at range, they can have like a pissing contest, I don't know.
You do forget that this is Div 4, meaning that they actually have to land the skill shots for it to work out.
I feel like just gonna have an auto attack battle or some shit.
Probably, this is gonna just proc electrocute or something based purely on auto attacks. You never know.
Yeah, we do see the Zac coming, like the Zac ban coming out, which is I'd say good for the side of Hentai Haven, because they don't want like they already have 3 squishy champions, right, with like 0 to no mobility. So far the only mobility they do have is a movement speed
The
from
Veigar does
Lulu
pretty
W.
well into it, though, right?
Yeah, I mean if he can get the cage up before he jumps, then yeah. But if he's already in the air, by the time you see him jump, it's already too late. Unless he
Yeah.
has to jump like a really big distance. So I feel like it's a good ban. I don't know why DSB banned the Heka though.
Well, Hecarim's pretty meta right
I
now,
mean
isn't he?
it's
Pretty
really
good as a
meta, but they
diver.
can just pick it themselves.
True,
Like,
true. Of
and it's
course,
really good into everything that Hentai Haven has picked so far.
mostly jungle bans coming out. We do see that the Shen is banned for the SlowBros Academy. Of course, if you've watched the NALCS lately, you do know that Shen can actually be pretty flexible, both as a support top laner and now a jungler due to his early dueling
Ooh.
power, his
But it's
relatively good
also
move speed.
a good matchup into Ornn, so if that's what they were looking for, then that's good. But like maybe we can see a Mordekaiser or Maokai coming out from Hentai Haven now. Like 2 good answers to the Ornn.
They have pretty good engage on the SlowBros Academy. Oh, Sejuani picked, and of course they do have to pick the top lane currently. I do believe that this Ashe is probably going to have to go cleanse into this CC heavy comp.
I mean, I don't
Something
think
like that.
like the cleanse is gonna do that much because most of the CC they do have is like knockups and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Cho'Gath into Ornn. Oh, no. Mundo? Possible?
I mean, so far it's a really good pick because the side of TSBA doesn't have any consistent damage whatsoever. Like they don't have any DPS in their team, and looking at like Shirtless's champion pool, they're probably not gonna get it either. So I'd say that's a good pick.
He's just going to have free reign to run around and heal up.
Yeah, no one will be able to stop him. Like,
Might
unless
be Executioner from
Shirtless
the center,
picks
though. Oh,
Olaf.
Olaf. That's a pretty good, consistent damage jungler.
True, it's really good into Sejuani as well. It's actually pretty good into their whole team because he can just run through the Veigar cage, ignore all Ashe's shit, and like he cannot be polymorph as well.
Yeah, Polymorph being extremely oppressive for dive champions, but Olaf, due to his Ragnarok ulti, can just run through the CC. So, who do you think won the draft?
Well, I'm gonna go for DSBA. I feel like it's a close one, but they just have like really consistent like range engage on to all of their squishy like members, and I feel like the side of Hentai Haven doesn't have any real like they do have obviously Sejuani ult and Ashe ult, but you like Senna could just get like an Edge of Night, and Zeref can get a Banshee, and if either of them run cleanse, like they're never going to be able to catch one of them.
So, do you think that TSBA need to be the first ones to engage to win these fights?
Not necessarily, because like with Zeref, they can actually poke the side of Hentai Haven down pretty consistently. Like when you get to the later stages of the game, Zeref can just press R and he can just like 100 to 0, like Ashe, Veigar, or Lulu if he just hits like a couple of them, because like the base damage of it is like 500 damage at like rank 3, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but it's pretty high. It's like that's what we did as well. When we were playing with Zeref, we just wait, and then he was like, "Okay, man, whenever I see someone, I'll just press R, and I'll just poke them down, and then you can basically fight 4v5." But on the other side, though, like if Olaf dies early because he gets bursted, for instance, by the Veigar, which if Olaf doesn't build a lot of MR, Veigar should be able to just one-shot him. And if that happens, then the side of TSBA will have no one to actually kill the Sejuani or Mundo. So I feel like if Olaf stays alive, then he can like carry the fight. But if he dies instantly, then it's kind of doomed.
Fair enough, fair enough. So probably going to be watching the jungle matchup and the top matchup, seeing as the Mundo is probably what we're going to be looking for in these team fights to try to dive the back lane. AD, or bot lane, excuse me, is probably just going to be some good trades. Not much unless Lulu is out of position. Pretty immobile bot lane into Nautilus, and Senna with her root can be quite volatile, and pretty good gank setup as well for Olaf to just run down and slow them. Probably going to be some forced flashes early game as well.
Yeah, I'm feeling like if I look at this, then I feel like TSBA like has a lot of like lanes to play through because Olaf can just run into Veigar, like chunk him down. He can like with the setup that Ornn like has, he can like kill the Mundo early as well. And if Lulu or Ashe steps up slightly too far and he's in the bush with Nautilus hooks, then like I feel like he has kill pressure in every lane. Whereas the side of the side of Hentai Haven doesn't really, because obviously Ashe and Lulu aren't gonna do too much P6 to set up a gank for you. Like Veigar, yeah, he can cage, but Zeref can just stay out of cage range, and Sejuani also doesn't have that good of a gank before like level 6. Like given that she doesn't have any melee laners, right, to like proc her shit.
Only Mundo is going to be
it's
pretty
gonna
hard
be
to
rough.
stack that permafrost.
Because like if TSBA and if the bot lane and mid like keep pressure, which I think they should be able to, then Olaf can just perma invade Sejuani and like slap him off the rift. Because like that matchup is so one-sided, it's actually insane.
Well, of course, this being Div 4, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of action, probably around bot side as well during Drakes, because souls are just that good. It is kind of sad to see Shenzhen put on Sejuani duty, as good as it is into this comp. AD Reflection also put on the Lysandra version of AD carries. Senna.
It's not even that good for them as well. Like, because like for instance, if they had like a Braum, you know, or like another melee laner, then it would have been like kind of good. But Sejuani will have a really hard time, or like a really tough time, like getting her passive off with the team that she has. And given as bot lane might not have prio and mid lane might not have prio, it just means that like locking a tank when the enemy jungler is like a carry jungler, and he still hasn't picked is kind of risky because he can just look at, like, for instance, the Olaf and just perma invade you, and if you don't get any help from your team, like, the game is pretty much lost there.
Mm. Looking at loading screen here, we don't see too many surprises. We do see that both the mid laner and the AD carry from TSBA have both opted to go for cleanse. Of course, Veigar, his cage being pretty hard CC, and Ashe ulti once she hits level 6, as well as Polymorph, can be some CC that you want to avoid, especially in the early game. But
Sedgelt as well.
yeah, Sedge ulti as well for those gank setups about level 6. Ashe and Lulu have opted for both defensive summoner spells in form of the exhaust for the Lulu and the heal for Ashe. They're going to have to play this lane a bit differently. They're not going to have too much kill pressure due to Nautilus's just innate CC ability and their innate on mobility. So it could be a pretty interesting bot lane to watch. Probably a lot of trades. Senna, of course, does have quite a bit of built-in sustain with her Q, while Lulu only really has shields. So it probably just be decently one-sided for the Senna and the Nautilus.
Yeah, it should be, because even though Nautilus and Senna, like, especially because of the Senna, they don't really have an all-in that's that good. Because like Nautilus has a really good all-in, obviously, but Senna doesn't have that much follow-up or like consistent damage. But I feel like she should be able to poke them down because they don't have any like sustain. Like, and if Lulu fails like her shield, then obviously Senna can just keep poking them down. And when they're actually like half HP or something, then the Nautilus they should be able to just burst them.
Of course, it's hard to tell now, but she has opted for the Glacial, so it will probably be a farming Senna. Of course, you can see grass most of the time when it is fasting, but I've seen both opted in for it, but I do believe it is farming just for the innate damage that they need from the Senna. 10-second pause.
Yeah.
And we're back into it. Excuse me?
Yeah, 18, 19, so I'm 1 second behind.
21. Yeah. Nothing new in terms of runes. The Veigar has opted in for the Glacial. You usually see that on Veigar due to his ability to just go the 2 early game Glacial items that give you quite a bit of AP and quite a bit of control, especially around his E. If you land that cage and they don't walk into it, you can just make an entire slow field and make their life hell. And Cleanse can't really do anything about that, so not surprising there. Both top laners have opted in for Grasp as well, to just bonk each other down noodle fight style.
Yeah, and like okay, so there's an invade going on. Okay, that's kind of weird.
No ward placed either for Hentai Haven either.
Yeah, they just run in, don't place a ward,
They just
and
walk in.
the moment that Lost and Broken sees them walk up, he can just call the Senna, and they should be able to like at least chunk them down. Like, they had no backup whatsoever as well. But interesting thing is that the Mundo opted into Cosmic Insight instead of Approach Velocity, which means that he's going to have a way harder time running people down, which is a shame. And also the Veigar doesn't have the active cooldown.
The Ravenous Hunter?
Yeah, no, he has Gathering Storm and Mana Flow.
He's gone to Inspiration secondary. Of course, he did get that early AP onto the Olaf in the mid lane, which means that this game is almost definitely over, as he will be stacking up the rest of the game as well.
Post show. Yeah, if you're looking for the Glacial though, it's really good to just go for the reduced cooldown on the Spookies and the Super Soaker, because it just makes it way easier to actually like get picks. But I mean, if you don't want to, that's up to him, I suppose. ADC runes seem to be okay. Support, nothing to really mention there. Let's look at the other side. Okay, so
Senna has opted in for the Cull as well, which is not something you usually see on the Senna.
True. But I mean, like, if you're planning to just farm out the lane, I can understand it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Olaf is actually almost. I mean, he's going low, obviously, which that's what he does. But like, I don't understand his pathing here, because he does the buff like Gromp thing that people tend to do. but like if he wants to really abuse this matchup, he has to actually power farm because he does it faster than the Seju and then invade. I mean, he is looking for the invade now though, so that's good on his part. Like he knows that Seju's topside as well. Oh wait, he's actually not going for the. Oh, he's okay.
Oh, he's going around the long con. Nautilus is level 2 here, and he does have the hook skill as well. They might be able to look for something. That's a flash forward, and the hook lands onto the Lulu, but it might not be enough. She shields and flashes away, but the Olaf is there to try and get anything off. The exhaust is popped, and Ashe might be able to get a trade kill here if they don't have any heal. And that is first blood over to the Ashe. There's no heal onto the side of TSBA, so they can't really get anything here. And Nautilus is just getting slowed as much as he can. The dredge line does land on the wall, and he gets pulled away. And that is first blood for Hentai Haven. Olaf being a bit overzealous there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea was good, but his lane was like either it was communicated badly, or his lane just wasn't paying attention because, like, Senna was basically not in the fight, and then they just turn it on him, and Senna uses cleanse.
Yeah, extremely early flash as well from Nautilus. He didn't really need to do that at all.
Yeah, and then Senna burns the cleanse as well. Like obviously she'll have it back before the enemy bot lane hits that good CC, but
oh, Ornn might be looking for an execute here, but Sejuani is there and he might just die. He does burn the flash, and Sejuani does pick up the kill under the tower. And that was interesting. He kind of just walked into the enemy tower because Sejuani showed.
Oh, also something that's interesting is Nautilus has opted into Ultimate Hunter and not into like the Hex Slash or something similar.
He went Domination secondary. Okay,
yeah,
that's a rune choice.
Olaf also doesn't have approach velocity, which is also kind of sad.
Those are quite core, aren't they?
Yeah.
Does Ashe have approach velocity?
Yeah, Ashe does.
Yeah, okay. Thank God. I wanted to talk a little bit about how Senna Nautilus didn't really do anything with their lane. They could have easily just went in for the level 2 and try and get as much chunk as they can due to their natural sustain, but they've sort of just been AFK farming into this lane where they have innate tradability and all-in potential, but they're just letting the Ashe poke down a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it is obviously, it's hard, because if you mess up, then because of the ranged advantage and like the slows they have, the Ashe and the Lulu will be able to poke you very low. So if you mess up once, you're actually going to be punished very hard as well.
Yep, definitely.
Especially after what they did earlier. Like, it's going to be very hard for them to properly punish it now. But yeah, before, like, unless you hit the level 2 before the enemy bot lane does, you're not going to be able to abuse it as hard, I feel like.
Of course, Ashe with the volley level 1 does have quite a bit more wave clear than Senna, as her Q does not do as much damage to minions in the early levels. Pause coming out from the side of Hentai Haven. No reason right now, but looking at the gold charts, we don't see anything too special. Top lane even. Jungle is actually down 400 gold. Sejuani did pick up the kill in the top lane and has a bit more CS than Olaf. Mid lane, pretty even. The Xerath is sitting about 100 gold over the Veigar due to having 4 farm extra. Bot lane has picked up a BF sword, as they did just pick up first blood on that gank return, and they're sitting about 400 gold over the Senna. And Lulu's sitting with about 150 gold over the Nautilus.
I feel like this is such a shame, because you can just let both bot lanes chill. Wait, is Senna actually stacking?
I mean, it is farming Senna, so you don't.
Yeah, but like she like normally you should be poking, right?
Yeah, she should be poking. I mean, farming Senna with the Cull is kind of interesting, as I do think that either Doran's Blade for the natural sustain or Doran's Shield, if you're going to get poked out, like this lane might be a bit better, so you can try and get those early stacks as well.
For sure, and obviously you want to be able to like run in and stack a bit, but that's not what he's doing. I feel like going for the gank there, like the idea was still nice, but I feel like in this matchup you really need to abuse the fact that Olaf just clears way faster than the Sejuani does. So you just want to look for like at least like 1 full clear probably, and then maybe 2, and then you can just like sprint into the fucking Sejuani's jungle, because you will always win the 1v1. There isn't a single point in a game where the Olaf loses the 1v1 against Sedge. And him showing up in the bot lane there actually allowed the Sejuani to like invade him, even though he could have gotten her entire bot side, which is just, I don't know, which it would have also been 300 gold. So then like that's as big a lead as the kill on bot lane would have gotten them.
Yeah, And Olaf being a natural duelist as well. Oh, Sejuani is into the mid lane trying to look for something. She does get the slow off and one more stack of permafrost for the stun, but she does get it, but it ain't gonna be nothing yet. Veigar does have a lot of mana, and that is the ultimate, the primordial burst, is dropped to try and kill the Olaf, and he does actually die in the end. Of course, Power Fruit was dropped low earlier. It didn't have the cleanse, so he could have been in some trouble there if they kept going, but they just take the Olaf and decide to do some Drake as the jungler is now down to this game.
Yeah, this is one of the problems. Like, if Olaf just power farmed the entire early game, he would have actually already been level 6 and he would have been able to get out there quite easily. But this is exactly what I said. Like, the Veigar just has enough damage to burst him.
Definitely.
And that means he's
we
not
do
gonna be
see
able
the
to do
Xerath
anything.
roaming up to the top lane, and Mundo does drop the R to try and get away. That movement speed is helpful, but the Ornn R does drop as well, but it doesn't look like they're going to have enough damage as the Mundo is just out healing all of it. Only a lost chapter onto the Xerath, and it's not really too much burst damage yet, as he does have Comet as well, and the Ornn only sitting on a bottom Cinder. Not much damage there either, so he just walks away with that scot-free, and is actually going to stay in lane to farm.
I feel like they just take the fact that Dr. Mundo uses his ult and just back off, because they will never have the damage to kill him. Like,
They did burn his flash too, though.
yeah,
fair.
but like, I mean, it's I don't know. I'm not
That
sure.
might
if
be
it's
good
worth
for a
it.
future
Yeah, I mean
skirmish.
that's worth it for sure. But like, I don't think he even had to, because there's no way that like a Xerath and Ornn at this point are ever going to kill you. Like, you're just too tanky. Like, they should never be able to kill you in any stage of the game. Like, the two of them.
Fair enough. Senna sort of just trading as much as she can. Sejuani is sitting in the bot lane, so it's quite good that the wave is in a decent position for TSBA. Doesn't look like she's going to
here
start the
though.
lane.
Like, if he just stays and he waits for the lane, he is not basing. If he waits for the lane to push back in, that's a free kill on the Senna or
She
the.
could go into the
Nautilus.
next push, but it doesn't look like she is gonna. She's just gonna wait around to see. She is level 6, but the Senna does have the cleanse, so landing on the Nautilus will probably be more useful. Senna is not exactly trading for the stacks very well. She's actually just queuing and not getting 2 autos, or 2 abilities that you need to get those stacks. She's sort of just queuing. For any non-Senna players, usually auto queuing is probably best, especially with Glacial. Getting that slow with approach velocity allows you to get in quick for that stack, as you need to get an auto and a Q, or an auto and a W, or a Q and W to try and get that extra stack and % health damage. But she's sort of just queuing right now and not really getting these early stacks.
Yeah, and that's such a shame as well. Like, one of the reasons that Senna is good is not because of her damage that she has in her kit. It's like her scaling. Like, she's super safe in lane and she skills really well once she gets some souls, but I think she's really slacking on collecting the souls, which means that she's
Definitely.
gonna be like relevant way later than she should be.
Of course, as you said, she's quite safe due to her innate sustain and the good trading that she has.
And big
especially
range
with-
as well.
Yeah, she has incredible range that does scale with her passive stacks. Sejuani has been able to bully this Olaf quite a lot. Actually did walk into the blue buff and smite it away from him. So she's actually using her lead quite well here, as Olaf is doing what he can and just AFK farming as much as he can, seeing
Thing
as
is, at this point, she doesn't even have a lead. Or like, when she went for the invade, Olaf had 2 longswords and she only had the Stalker Smite. So he could have
But,
actually
yeah.
just ran her down.
it's all about that fear factor. She has the mental advantage. That's all you need sometimes.
I mean, she probably does, not gonna lie.
It's a scary Sejuani. I mean, that R can hurt. Oh, it's a burst damage. AP Sejuani top. I want to see that.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that Shelby is not invading like at all, because that's the only way he can really get back into the game is just power farm. But if he knows that Seju is hovering his bot side, he can just go top and like try to get something.
I want to ask you something, Faut. You're a Kaz. You used the main Kha'Zix, right?
Yeah.
So, Poacher's Blade. Did you ever use that?
No, it was garbage.
No.
But
What was it, like 400 gold? something like that?
yeah, but like the thing is, like, it sounds like it was a good item when you were ahead, but it was actually not.
Some trades coming into the top side. The Ornn might look to turn this around as he does have R and Olaf is in the area, but that slow is down. Doesn't look like he's going to do much. And they're just
There's
gonna
also
walk away with that.
no reason for Shenzhen to ever go for the trade there, because Mundo's not around. He doesn't know where the Olaf is, so if Olaf is there, he will just die, and he will also never be able to 1v1 the Ornn. Like, it's just trading for no apparent reason. But yeah, the
Yep.
thing with that item was that it was really good. Oh wait, do you mean the
The one
dirt
that turned into a
evolved?
threaded.
Yeah, That was
Yeah.
actually like it sounded good at first for when you're ahead, but the bad part about it was that you actually had to take 4 camps, but there was a cooldown in between each camp of like a minute. So you can't just clean the enemy jungle once and then go back in for like one last camp. It's
Oh,
just like
really?
you have to consistently go in there and sneak 1 camp each time, which is actually
Oh.
very hard.
Mid lane is looking for a trade. The Veigar does land the cage, but Power Fruit does have the cleanse if anything gets too hairy, and that is actually a 1 trade for the Zeref.
Well, I mean, not really, because Zeref doesn't have any mana anymore.
Yeah, true, but it does look like the Veigar is going to be looking for a back, or at least a roam onto his strike. He has picked up a Super Soaker, so that Glacial with the Super Soaker is going to be quite irritating, especially for the low mobility on TSPA.
Shenzhen should just be able to just gank the mid lane now and at least force like cleanse and flash, and then next time they can just get a kill for free.
It does look like that TSPA are going to be setting up the Quake as much as they can. Some wards dropped around the river, and Hentai Haven does have bot prio, so they're moving up, getting a ward onto the Skull Crab
They
area.
have prio all over the map basically.
Yeah, they do have prio all over the map.
Because it just feels like TSBA does have the opportunity to go for prio, but they're actually just not getting it anywhere. They're just not looking for it. Like Senna is like, okay, just let me farm. I don't want stacks. I don't want to trade. I don't want prio. And Olaf doesn't look for anything on the other side of the map. Like he knows they're doing Drake now, but he just doesn't care. He's like, okay, I'll just farm. Like he's not looking for anything, and he really needs to look for stuff at this point in the game, because otherwise he'll never get back in it.
Do you think he should have been farming there, or do you think they could have contested it?
I don't think they could have contested it, just because of how weak they are at the moment. And especially because of how split they were. Because like Senna is obviously still in bot, so that means you're in a 4v3 as well.
Oh, Nautilus and Olaf are behind the enemy bot lane here, and it does look like they're going to be trying to get as much as they can. Olaf does pop the ulti, so he doesn't get polymorph to CC in any way. And it does look like they're going to pick up the Ashe. The Lulu still has flash, she flashes away, but the Dredge Slime, does land, and she will fall down. The Senna picks up 1 kill and 1 assist, and the Olaf picks up a kill. That might just get him back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was a decent play. But it was also very poorly executed from Hentai Haven, because it was very obvious that at least one of them was going to die, right? And Adorkable should just like ult some Vete and just sprint it, or not even ult, because like he was going to die either way. Yeah, but like maybe she shouldn't even have used it, because it wasn't enough anyway. And then she stayed around looking for like, oh, maybe I can still save him, but that was obviously never going to happen. And yeah, then she just dies as well. Even though Olaf just threw his axes like horrendously. Like he hit one and then didn't bother to pick it up, and then he just straight up missed the next.
Sam saving his flash for next fight as well. Smart choice.
Yeah, I mean, he was never going to get out of there anyway.
Yeah. Poor positioning due to lack of knowledge or map awareness from Hentai Haven does end up the Senna picking up the kill, and now she is sitting about 600 gold over the Ashe, as Ashe was actually sitting pretty comfortably before. Ashe has also picked up the Essence Reaver, which I absolutely do not agree with into the comp of TSPA.
I mean, I don't necessarily mind it. Like, I would have probably gone for a Bork first item, but like, if the one thing you want to do is like look for picks, right? Then it's actually a good item, because I don't think she needs the Bork to be able to trade against the Senna. And with the Essence Reaver and a 20% CDR it does give, like it's very easy, especially if you combine it with like the Glacial Augment on the Veigar and the Glacial Prison on the Sejuani. It's very easy to look for picks all across the map.
Fair enough, the CDR does come in handy, but oh, it does look like they're trading. Sejuani is in the bot lane to try and look for something, and the Ashe arrow is dropped, and the Sejuani arrow as well. That is a lot of CC onto the Nautilus, so it does fall in the end.
And they should be able to get the tower as well, but
Shenton does have Herald. Yep, there it is dropped. I probably think they could have just gotten it without the Herald, and then probably used the tier 2. And just look like, oh, Power Fruit actually does fall. Big Organ flashing onto the tower with the Primordial Burst to pick him off, as Olaf was there, so that is actually 1-for-1 on a gank.
Yeah.
Well played by Big there.
I also think it's kind of cute that Olaf just uses his ult randomly, like when there's nothing that B can actually do to stop him at that point.
That's true.
You know,
I mean, how long is the cooldown on that? 75
like,
seconds?
I think it's like 80 seconds or some shit, so it's not that long, but it's definitely not necessary.
It's
Especially
all about that extra damage, Val.
Oh show. Like if you're
Oh,
playing into like Sejuani, Ashe and Lulu, like that ult can really come in handy in a different moment.
Definitely. Olaf, the power farming has been paying off a little bit. He has been ganking a little bit as well. He's sitting about 400 gold over Sejuani. Nothing too special. The Veigar is doing quite well for himself, sitting about 900 gold over the Xerath as well, picking up a needlessly large rod, and that is a lot of damage on a 16-minute Veigar.
Yeah, but like if you look at what like Asko is going, like what's he actually
Nautilus
building?
hits the Dredge line in the mid lane. This might be another kill. Power Fruit does not have cleanse, but he does. Primordial Burst is not up either. The Centaur is dropped. Primordial Burst is used, and Power Fruit does fall down. The Sejuani is there to try and pick anything up, and the Centaur was not enough to save him. Power Fruit falls again, and Nautilus walks away unscathed.
That's so greedy. Because they're like, he was gonna die to Nautilus and the Senna ult either way. Like, there's no reason for Power Fruit to walk in range anymore. Like, he could just stay back and ult. Like, there's legit no reason for him to ever walk back into Veigar R range. Like, I don't know what he's doing.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, Olaf was there to try and get anything on the Mundo, but of course, Flash and ult used to try and get away. Not surprised, they didn't really repeat gank to use anything with that Flash, so it's probably just going to be a 5-minute cooldown that it's not going to do much good.
Also, the fact that like so many players have like double wards on their trinket is also kind of infuriating. Like, I don't know.
Definitely.
They should be placing that stuff. Let me see. Check the timers on. Yeah, Drake is coming up.
This might look. Oh, that is a face check. The Lulu is knocked up by the Nautilus ulti. She does get away. The flash is used, but she does ult Samvidia as well, who doesn't look like he's going to get away. He does fall to the Olaf in the end, but Dorkable does get away without using the exhaust, but using her flash herself. Sam using both of his summoners, and that Death Bush cost HH the Drake, possibly. Of course, Veigar.
Has Convente used his like hawk shot like once this game?
No, that is I don't. Has he even skilled it?
I don't know. I can't see because he's dead.
Fair enough, fair enough. Sejuani looking for the steal here, but Nautilus trying to do as much as he can to try and poke him out. Veigar sitting at a pretty good position there, but he does use the E quite early. Sejuani does try to go in for the steal, but it is not enough. It is picked out by Power Fruit at the end there, and that is going to be another kill over to TSBA. Flash used by the Nautilus to try and get anything out. And Beak almost kills him with the Primordial Burst, but in the end, the Nautilus shield is just too broken. Aftershock just needs to be nerfed.
I mean, to be fair, like, them trying to steal it isn't as bad, but after dropping his entire combo, Beak should just run away, and Shenzhen should never use his Q to try to burst a dragon there, because that just means, like, that's just a death sentence for him. Like, he's never gonna get out anymore. Also, quick fact, Sanvete has scaled the Hawk Shot.
Does it have 2 charges?
Yeah, it does have 2 charges.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time he uses it.
Oh, and they're used to try and spot out TSBA onto the Rift Herald. They do end up
really bad though, because you can just like permanently use it. Like if you have a slight idea where the Olaf is, you can just permanently reveal him and play accordingly. Because then you always know where he is, which means that you can always make calculated decisions.
Especially with the CDR that comes from Essence Reaver. It's on a lower cooldown.
And like they could have used it to check the bushes and around the dragon. Like they've had like almost complete control of the map for most of the game, yet they seem to not set up any vision for the
is dropped onto the Rift Herald. Sorry to interrupt you there. Ornn does have ulti as well. Sam has dropped about half HP. Lulu does use her shield. Oh, it does look like the Ornn is just going to be collapsed on that. Ash Arrow coming in clutch as well. Oh, the flash has failed over the wall. The Olaf does try and do everything he can. He ults in the Centaur as well, giving him a shield. That Nautilus R was also clutch, and Undorkable uses the ulti on herself, but that is the double kill for the Olaf. The Ornn does fall out in the end. That could have been a really clean turnaround from HH, but Ornn doesn't fall quick enough, and Olaf just flashes into the backline.
They could have killed the Ornn pretty easily as well, but Asko just decided that he didn't want to kill him.
Oh, Sejuani ulti is dropped again. They're trying to look onto the pick onto the Nautilus. The Dredge line is pulled in as well. Oh, that is a missed hook, but the Ignite might tick her away. She can smite the ground, maybe? No smite?
No, she didn't.
Oh, that's so low. About 30 HP living onto the last tick of the Ignite there. That, the axe from the Olaf missing just short. That actually could have been a kill.
I mean, he could have just sprinted her down as well, because
yeah.
like, there was nothing that Beak was going to do. He's like, I just missed it, just let her live then. It's a sign from the gods. I don't know.
They try and re-engage, they don't really get anything for
Odin
it.
was smiling down from heaven, you know, from
Odin
Valhalla.
was smiling. And the Rift Herald, nobody picks it up in the end as Baron does spawn. So in the end, that was kind of just a fight around no objective.
I mean, yeah, it despawned, and Beeg actually TP'd in after the Baron already spawned as well, so it was kind of whack.
Oh,
but
Nautilus might be bursted here. Oh, that is Nautilus being out of position, and the Glacial Vagar really showing its power there. The Super Soaker spraying him down. Wet T-shirt contest, making him go absolutely boom.
yeah, it just doesn't seem to make any sense. Because, like, the Olaf is ahead of the Sejuani by 1.5k now, even though the worst part of the match was actually early game, at like around like level 1 to 6. And like he was ahead, and like from that point on, you're like, okay, as Sejuani, there's no real threat of Olaf invading you anymore. Like your weakest time is already past, and then suddenly he gets back into the game because you just start slacking, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you usually don't see in these lower divs that they try and get much. They usually burn flashes into ganks, but they don't really repeat gank. They don't really try and do anything with the advantages they have. So, not really surprised, but yeah, Shenton tried his best.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he did. I'll look. Let me look at Sanvete. Ah, he's almost at 2 stacks again. Clean.
Almost at 2 charges of the Hawk Shot. You might want to use that to try and scout so they don't death rush again.
Oh, he
Orbital
also doesn't have a Farsight Orb, and neither does the level 13 Senna. Wait, Senna has 3 levels ahead of the Ashe.
I was gonna talk about this. The Senna has been side laning basically all game and is about sitting 1k up over the Ashe. She hasn't really been by many objectives, but she does have the Dawning Shadow to help her
she's
team out.
basically done nothing all game, and yes, she's the wealthiest member of the team of anyone in the game at this point.
That's the side lane for you, 80 carry diff. But I mean, the Dawning Shadow does help out in quite a few fights. You did see that
Yeah.
Rift Herald fight Olaf flashed in, and that shield did help quite a bit. So she's just been farming, taking it easy. She has, if I could see the stacks for a minute, she has 44 stacks, which gives about 30% crit, 50 extra range, and 33.
Should
attack
be
damage.
more, but like at least
Yeah, it
she's
should be.
kind of picking up the pace.
It looks like that HA are trying to move in for as much vision control as they can around the Drake, which is spawning now. It will be a Mountain Drake once again. A Mountain Drake, of course, being very scary on an Ornn, and TSBA have already picked up one, so if they could pick up another one, that would be a very tanky boy.
Also very scary on the Mundo, by the way.
Oh, and Sejuani too. They have a...
Yeah.
This is very... TP is used by the Ornn, who does have R. They could just immediately start this fight. The Senna E is dropped to try and get some movement speed, and oh! Ornn dashes into the Vagar cage, so he doesn't get the ulti off the Xerath.
Oh, that's tragic.
Can. Samvete is bursting quite... Oh, that is Lulu going down as well. She didn't even get to use her ultimate. Samvete doing as much as he can. Nautilus is dead trying to flash in onto the Vagar, who does get... Almost dies to the Ignite, but that is not enough. But it's actually 3 for 1 for TSBA, and they're just going to pick up the Drake.
Yeah, this is exactly what happens. When they overstep, it's so easy for TSBA to just pull the trigger and kill them, because they have, like, all of their carries are super immobile.
Oh,
they can just...
Vagar? No, he does fall in the end, and the Drake does go over to TSBA.
Oh.
That was
no.
warded, Brent. You can't do that. That was warded.
Yeah, but I feel like if you've played in Div 4 for this long, you just assume it's not warded.
True.
My
Sam
experience
not exactly
has told
playing
me.
well.
Yeah.
Sam
knows
gets
from
bursted in the
experience.
fight very quickly. Adorkable also getting bursted before she can use her exhaust or her ultimate. Olaf kind of just running him down, and Senna pumping out quite a bit of damage, and Nautilus kind of just flashing in, doing his own thing.
Yeah, like there isn't really much to say at this point, because like Asco just runs top lane when they're setting up for Drake, and even when they see that the Ornn is there, he just keeps walking, and he's like, ah, maybe I should have gone to Drake. So then he just decides to TP, even though he could have gotten there without TPing as well. And then obviously like Ornn just presses the R, and Nautilus does the same, and his carries just disappear. Like there's no counterplay.
Yeah, Beeg not really able to pump that much damage. He does burst the Nautilus in that last fight, but Sam, secondary carry right now, is not exactly doing too much damage. Oh, that is the Senna damage. That is huge. Xerath ulti is popped to try and get the last kill, but Adorkable does pop the ulti, and she does survive a little bit. Leandre's ticking, but the shield does stop that Senna damage, that crit. Hot damn.
Also, why did ABC Mantanki upgrade the Ludens? I feel like that's so unnecessary.
Yeah, Power Fruit not exactly the most powerful. as ironic as it is. But
Yeah, but normally you just wait for the Rabadons to come through, and then you upgrade the Rabadons. Like, he could have upgraded the Black Cleaver for Olaf, which would have been like probably the only item he's gonna get that's upgradable anyway.
fair enough, fair enough. TSBA
Lost
trying to
Broker
clear as
showing-
much vision as he can around.
He's showing the
Baron.
zombie ward as well, you know, that this is really where he gets his value.
Yeah, exactly. Got to get as much gold as you can. If it's gold and damage, then Div 4 wants.
Me
In terms of runes, me want.
The only scenario where vision actually does get damage, or like does give damage, so that's good.
Yep.
Normally
And
they
of
always
course
have the
death
argument, pink quartz don't do damage. I'm not buying them, but this rune
Wasted.
provides damage and vision. It's so smart.
75 gold wasted, absolutely unnecessary. Think of the item. You could get a longsword in that item.
Another pause.
Another
I wonder
pause.
what that's from. What that's for.
That's HH. It does look. Last time we did find out it was that something was burning in the oven. This time it
Asko's
does
headset
seem-
broke.
That might explain the him going top lane. instead
Maybe
of,
that was the thing in the oven.
Maybe he threw his headset in the oven, and so they could get a pause and talk about the game state. Maybe,
I mean, I have heard scenarios of people throwing electrical stuff into the oven. A friend of mine, his GPU wasn't working correctly, so he put that bad boy in the oven for like 10
the
minutes. and then
GPU.
Yes.
No. Oh God. Ugh.
Yes. It actually worked afterwards. Like
no,
it was
it
something.
doesn't.
No. I'm not even kidding. Like I wouldn't advise it, but it did actually work for him, which was kind of weird. But like I don't know.
Yeah, heat with graphical or any sort of computer components is never advised. Do not do this at home. Couchy, we do tend to see that below ambient is what you want to be aiming for if you can, but 40 degrees is probably good if you have cooling. 60, maybe 80 if you don't have cooling on your graphics card. Just do not put it in the oven. That is not good.
I mean, he was
If
really
it worked
convinced.
for him, sure.
Yeah, it was something about like there being something wrong with the contacts and it like fusing them back together or some shit. I don't know. It was weird
Okay.
as hell.
I mean, if he's an electrical engineer, who am I to stop in the way of progress? But
Exactamundo.
Exactamundo. Speaking of Mundo, Azco is finally back, and now we're into the game once again. Nothing much has changed. The Veigar has picked up the Rabadons, and that is quite a lot of AP, sitting at about
For a while
729.
now, I feel like.
Oh, has he? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
he
just
already
blind.
had it at like the last Drake fight. I feel like.
Well, good thing that you're the color caster and keeping track of that.
Yeah, but he's also like I think this is why he's not looking for the ingenious hunter, because he knows that he's not gonna go for the spookies anyway. So why bother?
Mm.
Like that thing gets his value, like gets more value the more active items you actually buy. And if you just don't buy any, then I guess it's not worth taking. Very
Which is
smart.
It's quite surprising actually, because the pick comp that they do have on HH, they have quite good picks. So a Twin Shadows cooldown could be something that you could definitely play off of if you're just looking for a pick with Ashland and
Yeah, it would have been so good.
It would have been quite good, but Div 4.
I mean, they don't want to. They want a challenge, you know. They don't want to make it too easy for themselves.
No, exactly, and that's why they gave them an early lead. But HH didn't do much with it. Cleanse is burned by Power Fruit to not.
I mean, he's just baiting the Veigar. He's like, "Oh, come get me, bad
Oh.
boy," and then he
Baron as
cleanses
well.
right as the stun ends, you know.
They see two people bot lane, and Ornn does not have the TP up just yet. It will be up very soon, but they do see two people bot lane, so they do start up the Baron. Of course, they have quite a good Baron take with Ashe and the Veigar, but the Veigar is bot lane right now. And they do get caught out. The Nautilus ulti is dropped. The Ashe arrow is used as well, but the Cleanse is dropped by the Senate to try and get away from it. Nautilus is in the middle of everything, but that is the Ornn ulti, and that is Adorkable dying as well. Samventa being bursted as per usual, but he does not die this time. Flash is used. Adorkable does get caught out in the end, and that is 3 flashes burned for HH.
Yeah, it's kind of sad as well because they, like, I think the idea is good, like looking for multiple people to show up in the bot lane so you can actually pressure the Baron. But I think with their comp, they don't actually have the damage to do it, which makes
Yeah.
it kind of hard.
It was a good thought. They saw two people bot lane.
And
They're like, "Yeah, we can
Asko was
probably-"
like, "Hey man, this ward, better remove it," which meant that they had vision of them in the pit as well.
I
Like
think it
obviously
also-
they had been revealed earlier because of the blue ward, but like attacking the ward again just gives them more vision.
I think it also comes a little bit down to, again, the Ashe not building Bork. not exactly being able to put too much percent health damage down. I don't agree with the build path here, but you know, Sam can prove me wrong soon enough once the IE is completed.
He's going for
Oh,
that
Hawk
juicy
shot.
W damage, you know?
Holy shit, Hawk shot? It was used. He actually
Yeah.
used it instead of face checking, even though he was still in Nautilus hook range.
Hey, man.
I can't blame him, man.
True.
Senna does start the Drake here, so they're gonna look to try and get something. Three
They
Mountain
should be able to
Drakes
get
out
it. Like,
their team
Ornn
is
does
quite
have the
scary.
TP, doesn't have the ult yet though, but
Ornn
they
is
can
on the flank
definitely
here. He
take
doesn't have his ulti yet, though. As
Nah, he's not on the flank. He's
does
not even
drop the
bothering.
R to try and burst Sam. Sam's just kind of walking into these, and he's already at 1/4 HP left, and Nautilus does get stunned up, and that's not enough. Olaf runs in, but gets bursted by the Primordial Burst, hence the name, and that is Ornn into the backside. He does get polymorphed, but it does look like the Veigar is going to die, but no, he flashes away. And on the other hand, we have Power Fruit just bursting down the rest of HH. Mundo trying to tank up as much damage as he can. Doesn't look like they have too much previous wounds except for the Ignite, and that is dropped, but he doesn't look like he's going to get away. Lulu does drop the ulti onto the Veigar to make him survive. The exhaust is dropped as well,
Yeah.
but that is
He
gonna
makes
be a
him
equal-
survive even though he
What?
was already out.
Yeah, it was kind of just a flex. He was just flexing. Yeah, I have my cooldown left. What are you gonna do about it? But I do think that TSBA are gonna be able to do this Drake. And of course, it's a bit slow, but
And the thing is with Veigar, like Veigar should be able to actually burst it.
oh, Nautilus on the flank. He does land in the dredge line, but there's no damage to follow up with. He might just fall in the end here. But oh, that does land the damage. The Zerath with Q damage is huge, and the polymorph on the Nautilus doesn't mean that he's gonna get out alive. But Nautilus does in the end. Mundo
I mean,
sorta
even
just...
if he traded his life for the Veigar, it would have been still worth because
Yeah, that
Veigar's
would've
the
been
only
tough.
threat to actually steal the Drake from them. So that's good. But yeah, that's like this like showed exactly what I meant, right? Even though they still lose the fight after, if Olaf just goes slightly too deep and just gets bursted by Beeg, they actually don't have any damage to kill the Mundo.
Beeg doing quite a bit of damage, but we're starting to see that Power Fruit is also trying to do quite a bit of it himself. 3 Mountain Drakes for the side of TSBA. We can already see that ABC Man tanking on the Ornn already has 350 armor and 260 magic resist with only 2 items. That is one tanky boy.
Yeah, that's the abyssal the Infernal Mask and the Forge Fire Cape coming through. Like those upgrades are just so good. It's actually insane. Senna going for bad items. Has this man not watched Losing to Shopkeeper by Shakarez? I highly recommend it.
IE, for those people that do not know, doesn't actually give that much extra crit damage to Senna. I believe it's only about 16%.
Yeah, the
for
thing
crit,
is,
only do 130.
most people obviously crit as like for 200% damage, but Senna only crits for 130 something. So buying IE actually only brings it up to like 150%, which means it's still less effective than a normal crit. So just getting like the rapid fire is fine for the range and the glacial proc, but you getting the Lord Dominic's or the Mortal Reminder here would have been way better, like damage wise as well.
I would have liked to
IE
see
just
a
doesn't
Black
give you
Cleaver
anything.
possibly. Making
I
her a
mean-
bit extra tanky.
Black Cleaver could work for sure, yeah. But I feel like if she just like sells the IE and buys Black Cleaver and Mortal Reminder, that's the best build she can go this game.
She
Like,
does have
there-
the Edge of Night as well, making her quite safe. She actually has 0 deaths. So that's. She's
I mean,
doing
if you
quite
stay
well.
very far away from the fights in the early 20 minutes, then
Yeah, fair
that's
enough.
obviously gonna happen.
She has 820 range as well with the rapid fire cannon, so I don't think she's complaining about engage range here.
Meanwhile, ADC man tanky on the split push as the Ornn, you know, as he does.
Yeah, they're
He
not really
knows he's
doing anything
untouchable.
about it. Oh, the Zerath ulti is dropped to try and stop the back from Beak, but it is not enough. That Glacial Slow, they try and do something. Oh, Dredgeline is missed when he does Q away, and it does look
Another
kind of
pause.
Another pause from Shenzhen. I think Azco threw his headset onto the ground this time. Big angry. We'll have to see in the end. Game state. How do you think that HH get back into this?
I honestly feel like they don't.
I mean, they're not that far behind in terms of
Yeah, like if they manage to find a pick on Zerath and Senna, then I feel like without having to use Veigar ult, I think that's the most important thing. If they manage to find a pick on the Zerath or the Senna without having to use Veigar ult, then they can actually do something. But in general, I feel like if TSBA just permanently group up, because like having the Ornn in the flank adds nothing. Like it does nothing. But having him with your team actually just allows him to just walk up and like ult off cooldown to see if you can find an engage on the Ashen or the Lulu. And if it does hit, like they're basically forced to flash to dodge it, which means that the next time you do it, if you have the Nautilus to follow up, you should be able to always kill them. Especially if Shinzen just keeps using his ult like this, where he just randomly throws it for no reason.
You gotta utilize the cooldown, maximize the cooldown.
But yeah, if, like I said, they manage to find like an Ashe ult or a Sejuani ult into a burst in Senna or Xerath, and Beeg still has his ult to burst down the Olaf, so he can't like have those drawn out fights, then I think that's the only way they win.
The Baron is started, the TP is dropped by Orin as well. They might be looking for something. Dredgeline is missed. Of course, TSBA don't exactly have the quick. Oh, flash used, but it does faceplant into the wall. The root is dropped onto the Ashe, who might just get bursted, but no, it is actually Veigar that's going to burst the Senna this time. The Orin does go in for a little bit of burst damage himself, but the Olaf, trying to do as much as he can, does get bursted by the Veigar as well. That he does so much damage. Powerfruit sitting back trying to do as much damage as he can, but Beeg playing this fight extremely well. He's just pumping out all the damage he can. Asco's sort of just running him down, not much they can do, being flashless on most of them. And that CC coming out from Beeg is going to be a lot to deal with. The Orin might fall out in the end. That is just a lot of dodging, but he does fall out in the end to the Orin Q, but I think Asco's just going to run him down. That tenacity from the Mundo W is going to stop the stun to do too much. Approach velocity is not on his kit, but it doesn't matter when he has slows.
Like I said, the only way they win a fight is if they find a pick onto one of the carries and still have ult to burst down Olaf. And that's exactly what happened. Even though Senna kind of found a pick on herself, right? Like she flashes in, goes way too deep, just instantly dies.
Into the wall.
Yeah, I mean...
the wall to try and land the W.
It was kind of tragic, you know, because if Senna doesn't overstep there, then obviously HH will never win that fight, and then Shenzhen goes too deep, but that is like salvaged by Beeg just doing a lot of damage, but he shouldn't have just jumped in there randomly. But yeah, like they find a kill on Senna because Senna just really, like I think euthanasia isn't like legal in her country yet or something, so she's like, I'll just do it myself. And Veigar still has the primordial burst to take down the Olaf, and he just gets one shot, which means that they only have the Xerath left for damage, but he can just be run down by Asco because he can't touch him.
Yeah, Olaf doing quite a bit in the mid-game fights. He was able to just dash into the backline, but now the Veigar is just pumping him full of AP, and not much he can do into that. Senna picks up her first death, flashing into a wall. The target selection was a bit interesting. Of course, this is also Ocean Soul. This might just be the fight that HH are looking for to turn around the game. The Xerath ulti is used prematurely again to try and poke some people out, and that is half of the Dorkable's health. The Dredgeline does land onto Mundo, but he might just walk away. They don't exactly have previous wounds. We do Sejuani trying to zone the backline as much as he can. Asco does drop the ulti and is sort of just running around doing as much as he can as well. The Dawning Shadow does pick up a kill onto Sampete with the help of Powerfruit. The backline for HH is DC'd. Adorkable does drop the ulti to try and make the front line of Mundo survive as much as he can, but it doesn't look like you're going to be able to do much. Olaf is on the flank. He might just be able to kill Veigar here, but he might just get bursted himself. Holy shit, that damage! But he does miss the Q to try and get the execute onto the Olaf, but he does end up dying to the Sejuani with a little help from his friends. They might not be able to get this Drake. TSBA might have to back off here, but Powerfruit does pick up a kill.
Oh, but this yeah.
Oh, double Warmogs on the side of HH means that they can just re-engage the fight, and of course that is picked up by HH as well. No soul for TSBA, which could have been the push they needed to try and get the game back in their favor, but now it seems that HH are doing all they can to try and their team.
It's just kind of yikes, because Olaf doesn't have any grievous wounds, so they're never going to kill the Mundo.
Nobody has grievous wounds. Oh no, Senna does.
Senna does, but like
and
he also has Merc Thread, but he doesn't need tenacity because he's Olaf. And oh damn, okay.
Oh,
he's just
Leandres does tick him down. That Xerath ulti has quite a low cooldown, but it's just tickling the Mundo. He's just gonna regen that up.
And again, like this time Olaf just goes into the Veigar and he gets one shot without Veigar even having to use ult. Like
again,
I mean he already didn't have it, but
Sam just kind of being cyberbullied this game.
Yeah, I mean he's not getting anything done, but I mean that's not too bad because TSBA also isn't getting that much done because they're just I don't know, I feel like no one in these games really knows how to execute any play. So it's just hoping the enemy fucks up more than you do and winning in that way.
TSB have quite a good front-to-back comp, but they're not exactly utilizing it well. As
Yeah, but it's like if Olaf goes too deep, he just dies. Like you've seen Lordio do it before.
Yep.
It's like he's really good if he's like in the midst of
Oh,
it. But if he's
Dredgeline
alone,
lands onto the Lulu, who gets bursted. That crit damage is huge. Samveda out of position once again. Asco trying to dive the backline as well. The TP is behind. I don't think they've noticed yet. Beak might come in for this huge steal. But Baron is picked up by TSBA. Mundo is ulted as well with the Wild Growth. They can turn it. The Warmogs is huge, and the Glacial is coming in there. The Sejuani ulti lands as well, and that is another pick onto the Nautilus. After the fight was already over, Senna's quite bursted as well. I don't think they'll be able to turn this if they keep going. Root is landed onto Sejuani, but the slow does not land, meaning that they should be able to just run away with the 4 Baron buffs.
yeah, I mean, it's weird again because HH should never be able to contest the Baron because like Beak wasn't even there, and in a 5v4, especially when you're so low mobility and the enemy has such good engage, you're just gonna die. Which you saw some Vete do. He went too far up and he just instantly died. Also, he didn't go for a Mortal Reminder into quite a lot of healing on the side of TSBA. But that aside, like they get the Ash and then they end up dying. Like one of them ends up dying anyway. Like they could have just backed off, I feel like.
Yeah, the HH bot lane not exactly playing to their strengths right now as they're constantly being caught out of position, but they end up winning the fights. Big with a little late of a TP, so they do end up picking the Baron up for TSBA. But he's doing all that he can right now. He's putting on a Caps performance, but it might not just be enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like HH really isn't playing to their strength because they aren't looking for picks ever. And it's just so weird because that's the only thing that their comp is good at.
Yeah, but TSBA aren't exactly playing to their comp strengths either. They're just seeing a lot of damage on both sides. Senna sort of just running people down, and not much they can do. Adorkable being extremely squishy, almost getting 2-shot by the Senna. Oh, and that is the Sejuani ulti and the Crystal Arrow used to try and get onto the Senna, who does flash away in the end. Dawning Shadow is used to try and get something in return. The Olaf uses Ragnarok to try and dive the backline, but it might not be enough. The Orange TP is used, and the Dredgeline misses on to the Veigar, who is sort of just running into the front line here. It might just be enough. And Mundo is picked off in the end. Senna extremely low, and Beak sort of just running around in the end of the fight. Again, a little bit late to the party, but Sam actually surviving in a fight for once.
Yeah, I mean, he was under tower and Shirtless was like, yo man, I'm gonna run you down. And then he saw the tower, was like, okay, let's not do it. Even though I think he could have easily, but he just was like, you know, at 40 minutes, the tower very scary, obviously. Especially when compared to the early game, you know, I would definitely not go under there. Wink, wink.
Yeah, it's spooky.
And yeah, it's kind of weird. Like ABC and Sankey TPing into the enemy team and just instantly running away. I just feel like it's sloppy all around.
AD Reflections, excuse me, was also quite far up to the tower, and both CC ultis were used to try and stop him, but he does flash away.
Yeah, I mean, he could have just tanked it and like cleansed, but I mean, he wanted to flash, I suppose. But
he
then
did use cleanse in the end as well.
Yeah, but then they had to use almost all they had just to peel off the Mundo.
This could look for a flank. The Death Brush sitting for TSBA, but it's a flank from HH as well. Senna is sitting quite comfortably in the backline. Sejuani trying to do as much as he can. Mundo also diving, but I don't think they'll be able to do much. Nautilus does get bursted as he tries to dive the HH backline. Beak trying to run towards the Senna, who's quite low. Mundo does pick it up in the end. The Ornn ulti isn't going to do much. Beak is burnt quite low, but he won't be able to die in the end, primarily with a burst. Does pick up a triple kill for the Ornn. Power Fruit is running away.
Down.
Power Fruit running away, they're not going to do much. That is going to be Soul for HH. That might be their ticket back into this. Both mid laners sitting on quite a few kills, 15 to 11.
Yeah, but I feel like Asco could have just ran down Power Fruit there, like 100%, but he just decided not to, I guess. But yeah, like
44 AP.
Yeah, as I already said earlier, like there's no way that the Xerath and the Senna have the damage to get through Asco. Like he's just incredible at this point.
I don't agree with the Xerath pick. They're not really using it to poke him out before fight. Of course, the two tanks on the side of HH do have Warmogs, so they can sustain that back up. But, I mean, Ashe doesn't have lifesteal. They don't really have sustain on Veigar either. I feel like Power Fruit could sort of just be sitting back, pumping out a bit of damage before they engage, and he's just kind of sitting back, not doing much. You don't really
I mean, I
feel
feel
the
like
11
Ash
kills on
does
her.
have Legend Bloodline. Yeah,
Oh,
she
Ash
does.
does
So
have
she does have
Bloodline?
12%. Like lifesteal,
Lifesteal?
but yeah, I was like blood
Brain
steal
fart?
or whatever. Yeah, I was brain farting so hard. It's actually insane. But like, I think if they keep doing this, like at this point, especially with the soul, like Asuka's never gonna die, and I feel like TSBA just let the game slip out of their hands. Like they're not gonna get back into it. I feel.
Shenzhen also sitting on that Gargoyles, and he is pretty tanky as well. Not
He's a
as
tanky
tanky
boy.
as the Ornn, but he will be hard to get through. As you said, the side of TSBA doesn't exactly have too much consistent damage, as we've seen that the
They had
Mundo
a
and the
very
20s
big lead. They were like at the point
Yeah.
where they could permanently run down HH, but that point's long gone now, and they don't have the damage to deal with HH anymore. So HH should just be able to just like tear them apart.
You can never put a team out of the race in Division 4, and it does look
No.
like you're trying to bait around this
Exactly.
Baron. But Ornn is bot side. He does not have TP. Oh no, that's the last person you wanted to be there, and it does. The Ragnarok is used, but he's probably going to fall as well. The Senna heal will not be enough. Sandbase, it does pick up the kill with
American
the crystal
sniper.
arrow. Shirtless, kind of not where you want to be right now when Baron's up. That is probably going to be
It's kind of funny as well, because like you'd expect HH to look for picks with the Sejuani ult and the Ash ult, but they were looking to like last hit with it instead.
Yeah. Asuka trying to do as much as he can to try and zone. The Xerath ulti is dropped, and that's quite a bit of burst damage, but they do pick up the Baron in the end. Asuka sort of just running around. Big trying to do as much damage as he can, but Sam is bursted in the end. That Ornn does quite a bit of damage as well, mixed with the Senna. Speaking of the Senna, she's kind of zoned off into the backline by Asuka on the Mundo. Ornn trying to run away from what he thought would be a good idea. Does look like he might fall in the end. The E is used to get him out. B just pumping. This target selection is astounding to me. Bean has just been able to do whatever he wants these fights.
Yeah, I mean, like Bob Stroyer, aka ABC Mansanki, just misses the ult, so he's not going to be able to do much as well. And without him, and without the Nautilus R that came out to actually peel the Mundo off the Senna, like they have no tools left to do anything against Beak.
Senna not exactly
just
doing too
chill.
much damage onto the front line either, as you said, not really consistent damage. So this is probably as good as it's gonna get for TSBA. Not really too many item spikes coming out either.
Yeah, I feel like the game was kind of slipping away from the point that ABC Mansanki like dove into the Veigar cage, like head first, and then the Nautilus hooked the Ornn pillar. Like that's kind of what I with the like signify this game.
Yep. Let it be known that gold doesn't
things
do
going
much if you can't execute. They're about even in gold for both teams, but we can already see how HH are quite
Is
a
that a
bit.
World War II joke? Never mind.
Yeah, intentional, nah, but it could have been a joke.
Could have been.
Could have been.
And this game really is a game of could have been, as well.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams not exactly playing to their best, but in the end, HH do get bit of a carry performance, almost Caps-like on Beeg on the Veigar. He didn't exactly use the Glacial to its fullest extent, but it doesn't matter when you're pumping the squishies full of damage from TSBA.
Yeah, it's like he was doing really well in the early levels. Then he was also kind of getting rewarded for Power Fruit just being a greedy bastard sometimes, just running back in to be like, oh yeah, I want to get the last hit, and then just dying.
Oh, Nautilus might be a bit out of position here. The Permafrost is used, that attack speed coming in quite well. Oh, is that in from Lost and Broken? No. Ornn sort of just running into the Sejuani as well. This might just be something they're looking for. The TP is used by Mundo to try and get into the fight. Doesn't look like much is going to happen. They're sort of just trading blows right now. Ornn ulti is used to try and initiate the fight as they're in a tight order, but the Sejuani ulti is used to stun him up, and he cannot get anything. That Mundo is tanky, 4.6k HP. Not much they can do. Of course, Power Fruit drops the ulti as per usual to try and burst some people down, but they don't have enough sustain. I think TSBA are just going to lose. Oh, Nautilus almost dies as well to the Veigar W in the cage mix. Dawning Shadow used to try and get some damage out, but it's not enough. The Crystal Arrow lands on the Power Fruit, but he cleanses to get away, as well as the Flash. This is probably just going to be game for HH. They can just push into the base.
Yeah,
does
Beats
look like they're-
autos half HP.
Oh,
the tower.
Olaf flashes in to try and dive onto Beak, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. The Redemption comes in, and Dorkful doing as much as he can to try and keep him alive. Nautilus ulti comes in, it's not going to do much, and that's just going to be the Nexus.
Yeah, that was an interesting game. For
48
sure.
minutes. My god.
It was 48 minutes of no one knowing what was going on, I feel like.
I
I for sure didn't. Like,
Yeah,
no
that
one
was-
actually on. Like, you have an Olaf, you have a Senna, and then no one on the side of HH actually decides to get any healing reduction. They don't have a Morello, they don't have. Like, obviously, they did have a Thornmail, but that, like, really only does anything if they are hitting the Mundo. And that was not what they wanted to do. But they had no healing reduction versus the Olaf as well. I mean, I guess I didn't need it, but it's kind of grief.
What do you expect from Div 4? You don't expect 20-minute games. You don't expect early game picks. You expect the Karthus jungle. You expect the hyper carry Jinx bot lanes. They didn't exactly draft that, but they usually go to 50 minutes anyways, and that's exactly what we got. Looking
Yeah,
at the
I
damage,
see people going to 50 minutes when they both have like a full early game comp. Like, that's just
yeah,
Div 4.
that's sad.
It's like
that's
no
just-
one knows how to actually properly use their lead, to set up vision, to set up objectives, to get the objectives, and then play out the game properly. It's all just hoping that the enemy throws harder than you do, so you can actually make it through the mid game or like the rough parts of the game for your comp. And that's what
Definitely.
happened, I guess.
Looking at the damage charts, we do see that Veigar actually didn't do as much damage as we thought. Power Fruit sitting at the top of the damage charts with 71.5k damage, while the Veigar is only sitting on 52.7. Senna sitting at 54.8 as well, doing quite a lot of damage, as we saw onto the Lulu, who was just being two-shot basically. And Sam sitting at barely more damage than the Ornn. He didn't really have a chance to do much that game, mostly
True.
because physical damage.
Yeah, but
taken.
Ornn probably got most of his damage from Thornmail anyway. Like, I feel like if
Overall-
Sam bought a Thornmail as well, like, he would have out damaged some like ABC Mentanki.
Probably. That was an interesting play from both AD carries. Olaf taking the second most damage in the game, followed, of course, by Mundo, who's just face tanking. And I think that is it for game one. We will see you guys in the next one. Stick around.
banning out the Mundo, which they
I mean,
struggled with greatly last time. But I really doubt that they're going to swap the Shen into support or into jungle. And I mean, they could have put it like, but it could have gone Nautilus jungle and then Shen support and then like pull the Mundo anyway. So I guess there are
anything
moments where
works.
they could be scared of it, but I mean,
Mid lane is still blind picked though, so that is not some. I don't think top lane is something you want to leave open for. I think mid is quite important to have good priority with, especially with the Drake meta. Top lane Shen almost definitely. Jungle Shen is quite hard to pull off, especially in these lower elos.
it's not that hard, you know. You just do one buff into the other buff into Grump, for instance. Like you just take the camps that aren't drafters and Krugs on your first clear, and it's actually going to be quite easy. One thing I still feel like HH is missing in their comp is someone to actually deliver the Shen into the enemy team. But they could pick like a Nautilus. I mean, a Nocturne.
They do have
Very
that.
good into Zoe and Ash.
They
But
do
that's
have
going to be
quite a bit
interesting.
of tankiness already. Mordekaiser coming in. Is that a decent matchup into Shen? I believe it is.
That's a very good matchup for Morda, yeah.
Does he build Nashor's Tooth or just AP matchup?
I mean, he just builds I think he just goes Leandries and he just wins.
Yeah, it's Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser
Yeah.
does Mordekaiser things and wins. Shen does Shen things and wins around the map.
Yeah, but he
Hopefully.
can't win around the map with a Mordekaiser.
Fair enough. He just gets ulted.
Why? Why?
Oh,
Hero.
I have been informed that Shenzhen does enjoy the Shen jungle. It is
The
quite a
River
pocket pick
Shen?
of his. So it does look like it might be a River Shen. Garen gonna be played into the Mordekaiser possibly was quite a bait, but not. I mean, we've seen it quite a bit in
Okay, so it
LEC
is
as
Shen
well as
jungle
LCS.
then.
Yeah, Shen jungle usually goes press the attack, and once he hits level 6, that is going to be quite a bit.
Yeah, you just go like press the attack and then secondary you go Ultimate Hunter and Cheap Shot, I think. I think that's what you do.
I wanted to talk about this Zoe pick. Of course, Zoe was picked first rotation blind pick, which did allow the Xerath pick. Both quite poke heavy champions, but Zoe into Senna Xerath. That is immobile champions that can get bursted quite easily if the Senna doesn't opt for some more tanky items. So gonna be watching out for that. The Vi is also very good diving into this backline that has no mobility. So hopefully some cleanses or some Banshee Veil actives will be bought on HH's side.
Yeah, they do have a lot of ways to actually get into the Xerath and Senna with the Ash, Leon, and Vi. Like they have like plenty engage, but I don't know. I feel like TSBA won draft again, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna win the game like we saw last time. Because like Shen really needs someone to get into the thick of things so that he can get backline access or like properly do stuff. But Garen and Nautilus aren't just gonna get to Ash and Zoe that easily. Like they don't have any real gap closers. So it's gonna be very hard for him to get onto the Ash and the Zoe and actually disrupt the team fights. But
they do have quite a bit of re-engage though. If they could possibly poke down before the TSBA.
I mean, if
ends up
TSBA goes
engaging.
in, right, and they use Ash ult, Leona ult, Vi ult, and they don't kill, then they don't have any tools left to actually do anything.
Definitely, and Senna, of course, can do quite a bit of damage from range as well as the Xeraths, and the front line from HH can be quite potent as well. And they do have quite a bit of CC to follow up with, and the Dawning Shadow, of course, can pump up quite a bit of damage and shielding for the team. So as you said, important cooldowns need to be used sparingly if they can definitely get the kill. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play these out. It might just be another engage heavy 5v5 fest, but maybe we'll see some poke or some different ways of winning fights.
I mean, I really feel like it's just going to be a 50-minute slugfest again, where everyone's just randomly engaging.
I pray not.
Runs in, trying to get the engage off with his Z, that kind of stuff. But honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to expect. You never really know what to expect. You never really know what to expect in game, in draft. In theory, you don't even know what to expect. It's absolutely insane.
While we're waiting for the spectator delay, we can talk about theory a little bit. Are there any item spikes or points in the game you think either of these teams should be able to try and pump it up a little bit harder and try and get a lead?
I mean, I feel like TSBA should definitely be able to look for a lead at level 6. I think that's where they really shine with the Ash Leona. Like if Vi is level 6, like hits level 6 and then goes bot. If Ash and Leona are level 6 as well, there's almost no way that Senna should ever survive. Like even one cleanse isn't going to be enough. If she gets hit by Ash ult, cleanses that one, then Leona has 2 stuns and then Vi has an ult. Like there's no way
Yeah.
she should be able to get out alive, especially if Vi manages to hit level 6 before Shen does. Because if Shen does hit level 6 in time, then it can actually be quite they can get into a sticky situation because then they probably won't have the damage to actually burst the Senna because of the Shen shield and the Senna ult and the Senna Q, whatever. And then they can actually get turned on quite easily, especially if they go and engage while they are like tower diving or like not really tower diving but close to the enemy tower. Then that's really where they can get turned on. But yeah, they can also just like look to get control with the Ash and the Ash Hawk shots and look to get vision control, and then they can actually poke out the enemy team with the Zoe as well. But
Ash in the hands of AD Reflection this time, so he might actually have 0 charges once in a while during the game. As Samvit didn't exactly use the hot shot in the early game. He did use it a bit into the late game because they did get death brushed a little bit. So, and now as the bot lane has been switched around, we might see some different play styles, maybe some more aggressiveness, as we didn't see that much except for some queuing from Senna or some Wing from Ash last game. So hopefully we see some more aggressive plays without the jungle help.
Lost and Broken again with the with the domination secondary on the support.
He really wants those Ultimate Hunter stacks.
He gets like Ultimate Hunter and a Zombie Ward like every single game, and I don't know if that's actually worth it. Like, I don't feel like it's gonna do a whole lot, but I don't know. And then
Shen ulting for Predator.
Yeah, it's a weird rune choice.
It's usually press the attack, correct?
Yeah, the press the attack thing just makes your well, obviously the runes make your clear slightly. Wait, no, you don't go. You go tenacity, so they don't actually make your clear that much stronger, but they do make your gank stronger. I guess Predator in a certain way also makes your gank stronger, but I just don't think it's gonna do that much for him. Like a Predator Shen, I feel like it's just kind of useless, but I guess it's up to Shenzhen to prove us wrong.
Senna has opted in for the heal as well. Surprised to see that, seeing how CC heavy the bot lane is. Of course, not much you can do if they top it on top of each other. But I was gonna say during draft, I would not be surprised to see a Edge of Night cleanse and QSS onto Sam just to try and survive.
I would also not be surprised, but
just Mordekaiser ulti and all that.
I'm willing to bet we're not going to see a QSS and late Edge of Night.
Based on how he built last game, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that Senna might just be his champion. So hopefully we see some better plays.
Does have the prestige skin, obviously.
Yeah, and of course so does Curly, who has opted for TP and Airy onto Zoe. Not sure about the Airy choice as I don't play so much Zoe myself, but I'm pretty sure TP isn't exactly optimal.
I feel like Airy is only good if you really look for, like for poke, but I don't think he's going to be able to poke the Zareth as much.
10-second pause. All right.
Yeah, I would probably
13, 14, 15. Yep.
I feel like normally on Zoe in this matchup, I'd probably go like a spellbook swap to get as many sums as possible, just so you can, and then go like sorcery secondary to get the Nimbus cloak, so you can like have as many summoners as possible.
Possible invade from HH, but it does look like the ward from Lost and Broken.
That's a weird ward, by the way.
But I think they're just gonna keep going. They might just go for a ward, but the tri-ward is dropped. They're gonna look to go around, but Leona does seem to understand what's happening, so she might be able to stop this.
But if you want to spot out an invade, that's a really weird ward to use.
Yeah.
Normally you just drop it and try and just move back.
TSBA, of course, responding with a ward and the red buff take of their own.
Because the thing is, if HH wasn't like randomly waiting across the fucking corner there, and they were actually already in the river, which it should have been, Leona would have been dead if she tried to place that ward.
Yeah, but in the end, it doesn't. It's just going to be vision traded. Oh, this could be a dirty fight. 3v2 up in the top lane.
They are gonna lose this so hard as well.
Oh, Xerath opting to go back to mid lane, but he does try and join the fight in the end. Level 1, it is happening. The passive stacks for Mordekaiser are doing as much damage as he can, but Vi does end up falling to the Garen. Not exactly what you want to see early game. Shen is dropped down pretty low. That might impact his clear a little bit as well. Mordekaiser does end up getting away without having to burn anything. First blood for HH.
Yeah, I mean they're actually helping him do the buff here. Which means that Asko is gonna just lose a couple minions. Like, there's no way he's gonna get the full XP. Yeah, he's already missed three minions. This dicks him. This dicks his lane so hard. But then again, it is ABC Mantanki, so maybe he can still win.
It's gonna be an interesting matchup to watch up top lane. Definitely, Vi is quite behind.
Shenzhen has a triple pot start as well, which I condemn most of the time. I just think it's for brain damaged players only.
What about the bead, the anal bead? Is that pretty decent?
I mean,
rejuvenation bead.
It's okay. It'll jumps like Fiddle and like Shaco. Wait, no, not Fiddle. Fiddle you generally go like Hunter's Talisman and like a
Warwick usually.
On champions that you build Tiamat on and that have like some sustain already. That's when you build the Reju bead, but you know.
Bot lane currently sort of just AFK farming. Oh, Asko dropping rather low. He has to burn the flash so he doesn't fall up in the top lane. ABC Man did actually have flash, so he could have followed it up with a Q, but in the end he will not do anything.
It should still be able to use Q flash, but
yeah, I don't think it'll kill him though, even if it's isolated.
Again, the cold start from 80 reflection.
Yeah. I mean, Sam showing kind of again what was happening last game. The bot lane is not doing much. It's sort of just Brain AFK pushing the wave. Not exactly many trades or engages from the engage heavy supports. Senna not exactly auto queuing either to get those early stacks. Only sitting at about 3 at 3 minutes. Not exactly what you want to see. Of course, it is farming Senna, so you don't get as many, but still, it could be going better. Vi bot side pretty low. Shen also bot side looking to try and get something done around that, but right now it's kind of staying still.
Yeah, this is where Shen has this is where the red bot strat shines, you know, because your early clear is slightly healthier, but then afterwards every clear is gonna be less healthy. So I generally just see it as something that only cucks go that don't think they can clear the jungle properly.
Doesn't look like much is gonna happen, and he's recalling. Bot lane gets a little bit of a trade in. Sam gets 1 soul, and that's as much action as happening right now. Mid lane sort of just trading their butts off, but poke champions.
Yeah, and again, you see the Senna getting like the passive ready on both champs and just not proccing it on either.
Yeah, with Glacial, usually you just want to walk up and get that approach velocity, which is huge for getting those free auto Qs, which is a huge trade, seeing as you actually heal from it while they take damage. So it is quite hard to return trade if Leona doesn't try and engage on that. But of course, Lost and Broken on the Leona, not exactly doing too much in terms of pressure.
Yeah, I think he's also failed anyway, so you can't really blame him too much, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Ronnie on the Nautilus, not really pressuring too much. She does have bush advantage, but when you're pushed up this far, they have been pushed up quite far. They have been pushed up far for quite a while now, but it doesn't look like that Shirtless is going to try and punish that anytime soon.
He's still behind, like, compared to the Shen as well. Which is something you don't want to be, because the only way you can really make an impact on this game is if you hit the level 6 as soon as possible, so you can start ganking.
He's only about 1 camp behind in terms of CS, but I mean Shenzhen has been trying to be able. Oh, Predators pop top lane. Mordekaiser does still have flash if he wants to get out, and that is the taunt used, and Mordekaiser does flash out. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get too much.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane though.
Oh, bot lane. That is the roam in from mid lane, means that Lost and Unbroken using both his summoners to try and get onto Adorkable, who doesn't end up dying.
Adorkable flashes away into the bubble that was already on the ground and then gets slept and dies.
That hurts. I was watching top lane. This is a...
I was watching bot.
Calm down for a second? Yeah, it's a good thing.
It's kind of tragic.
And it doesn't look like they're going to look for that early Drake, which is probably good, as Shenzhen has been looking for quite a few ganks, so he isn't exactly Shirtless isn't exactly behind an XP anymore. And this early Drake could do quite well with that early cooldown reduction, which we were talking
I mean,
about
the
before.
ult cooldown is really big
Yeah.
for everyone on their team, but the Zoe.
Exactly. Yeah, Zoe, you know, it's really important. You got to get that extra auto in.
True.
You were talking about the rune choice for Zoe before. Do you see anything else that you don't exactly agree with?
No, I feel like most of the runes are actually fine. Oh, that was a tragic E-flash.
Ooh. Shenzhen wasting the flash, not exactly hitting Curly, who does blow his own flash. The one he just blew was one he picked off the ground. So flash for flash, Zoe being a bit more immobile than Shen, but so he could possibly return gank with that, especially when the Predator is up.
I feel like if Garen gets his Q and E back up, he can actually just execute the Mortar, but...
It is level 6, so this is going to be an interesting top lane matchup, especially if Mordekaiser tries to get an ult off, because I believe he can dodge the Garen ulti with his own ulti, so by chance, he could just completely outplay.
Maybe.
Mid lane, the Ignite is dropped to try and get some sort of damage, but they're both kind of out of mana. Both mid laners out of mana, not much they can do. Shenzhen is getting closer and closer to level 6, he just hit level 5 actually, so... But once he hits that level 6, we might see some plays around the map. We might actually see some communication from HH talking about, let's go in here on the bot lane. Speaking of bot lane, Vi is sitting in the bush looking for a
Yeah, Vi's chilling,
gank.
but that means she's not getting level 6 anywhere soon, and she's gonna go, like, even if she tries to gank, she's probably gonna run in through the river and get spotted out anyway, and then she's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, I mean, TSBA had been pushed in quite a while, and Vi comes exactly when the wave is pushing towards HH. Not exactly optimal. Hopefully they can try and clear as much vision as they can with that priority that they have now. Hawkshot is used to try and spot out Shen. I believe he is spotted out on the blue buff. So they can track him now, as Vi also going to her own top side. And
Yeah,
nothing
who's
really
actually
coming
ahead in
from
XP? Let me look.
gonna try
Vi's like, nah, Shen's ahead in XP. Like, if this wave dies, he hits 6, I feel like. Yeah,
Try
there it
and-
is.
find the... Oh, Zoe's going down to the bot lane to try and look for Shen there. To
The
see-
pressure bubble, you know, dropping the
pressure
bubble,
bubble.
running
It's
back to lane.
mind games. Do you not understand the mind games? It's all about, I put you to sleep, and now he's going to be tired for the rest of the day. You know how if you fall asleep sometimes, you're like, ugh, rip. And he's just like tired for the rest of the day. So that's what he's doing. Bubble is, oh,
Okay,
the stun
Vi
is used. The Shen ulti is used to try and save V from this possible engage. Vi does use his R to try and get as much damage as possible as well. Zoe kind of just walks away trying to put down as much damage as possible. Both walk away. Both junglers' ultimates used.
I feel like that Vi ult was unnecessary as well, because like, if Beak just flashes afterwards, he can always get out. Like, he just
Yeah,
won
no
that
summoners used.
Yeah. But like, he didn't have to, because he could just run away, because Vi already used everything.
True. The Stain United does come in to save him a little bit. Top
Asgo's
lane, it
dead.
does look like Asgo might die. The Mordekaiser ulti was used to put him in the Death Realm, and he gets sent to the Shadow Realm. And by Shadow Realm, I mean back to Fountain.
Back to
Oh,
Grey
repeat
Screen.
gank. The Predator is popped by the Shen, but he does get put in a sleepy state, and the exhaust is still available for the Zoe if anything happens. The stun does land, but Vi is there to cancel the taunt. The Sen ulti is used to try and put some damage down, but it is not enough. The Xerath ulti is missed as well from Beak, and they're just going to be able to walk away again.
I feel like the Vi Q like cancelled it by pure chance, but it was still it was
Bot
still
lane,
nice.
Lost and Broken does miss the Leona ulti, but it doesn't matter as that is enough CC by itself. And caught out of position once again, Samvi falls to the Ashe.
Yeah,
2-0.
this is the strength of the Ashe Leona lane. Like, they both have CC, and they both have a way of following up the other CC as well. It's like, even if Lost and Broken misses his ult, it doesn't matter. Like, if he gets a slow off and then can get into range for Q, like, Samvesti still dies.
Sam kind of repeating what happened last game on Ashe, saving both of his summoners, even though he was caught out of position. Not much play coming from Adorkable and Samvi. They're kind of just chilling, trying to get as much CS as possible. But Ashe sitting at about 26 CS more, 2 kills, and about 1.1k gold over the 80 carry. So
Yeah, and she's
it might be-
almost getting goal as well. She just needs 4 more stacks.
Yeah, that is not going to be something that you're going to be happy to see for HH. Yeah, Drake's coming up soon. There does look like that TSB are going to be setting up for it. TP is up for Curly as well as ABC Man Tanky, so we might see a 5-man fight here.
I should be able to get it relatively easily as well. Like if bot lane returns before HH have started or done it, then they can easily just start it themselves.
HH do have bot lane prio, and it does look like Beeg is going to try and poke, but he does get hit by the Q. The Assault Battery is used to try and kill him as well, but he does cleanse the bubble to try and get away, but he is very bursted. He does have the ulti up quite soon, so
Meanwhile, solo kill in top lane.
Oh shit, what the hell? Solo kill top lane. Asco did have TP, so this is a numbers advantage, and it does look like they're going to pick it up uncontested. Not much that HH can do right now. Sleepy Trouble Bubble is landed. Solar Flare is also used, but doesn't look like you're going to be able to follow it up with too much damage. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is still up if they want to try and do something, but it does look like they're just going to go back to their farming ways. A little bit slower of a game.
Yeah, but I feel like this game, TSBA is actually playing like they are in control.
Vi's still up, and that is the flash used from Zoe to try and land the bubble, and that is enough as Beeg does not actually have the cleanse. The flash is also used from Shirtless, and they get a kill up in the mid lane. And it's just TSBA kind of just rolling through them in the early game. 12 minutes in, 5 kills. They're up about 3k gold. And ABC Man Tanky is actually sitting at about 1k gold up on his laner. Bot lane's 1.2. Mid lane is about even.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because they end up like counter picking Garen into Morda, but I feel like Garen only wins that matchup if he really abuses it, like 3-6, and after he just loses. Like I don't.
What's the best Mordekaiser matchup, do you think? Or what would you like to see?
Diana is the best Mordekaiser matchup for Mordekaiser, but against Mordekaiser,
against Mordekaiser,
like probably like Mundo, but that was banned. I feel like most tanks actually do relatively well. Like obviously,
the Predator is popping the Shen in the mid lane. The flash taunt is used. Feels like it was kind of unnecessary, but they do pick it up in the end. Sam V does use his ultimate to try and pick it up assist, which he does, but he's out of position again. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands. He does use the flash. The Stand United is used as well, and Lost and Broken uses the E to try and get in to try and CC him, but in the end it spells his doom. Solar Flare is used. That is quite a bit of damage. If 80 Reflection plays this correctly, he could actually turn this quite easily, but he steps up. And the taunt is landed and the root as well, but doesn't think he's gonna fall. Lost and Unbroken goes back in. Oh, and they do actually pick up a kill. The Ignite is used. That could be a double kill, but it's not enough. 80 Reflection sitting just out of range. I feel like they could have played that a lot better, but in the end, 1 for 1.
Lost and Broken opens the fight.
Vi comes in with the Assault and Battery and picks up another kill. Shenzhen, what was that? Flash used by Curly. What is happening in the mid lane? He does look like he's trying to get some damage off, but Beeg dodging as much as he can. It does look like it's just going to end up being a trade as the TP was just used to get back to lane.
It's one of those moments where Lost and Broken uses the Q on a minion, which kind of costs him the opportunity, but then they are actually able to turn it, and I think they could have killed them all, but then Ashe steps up way too far, which allows Shen to
they could have played it a bit slower.
Yeah, for sure.
Won that quite well. 80 did play it quite well up until the point where he was in taunt range.
Up until the point where he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Shenzhen did use his flash before, so I mean, he didn't really have too much of a threat. 80 could have just positioned around the minion wave, and I mean, Lost and Unbroken did quite well with coming back in once his CC abilities were up. Maybe some more communication from the TSBA bot lane could have been used, but in the end, I think it's pretty worth.
Vi is going QW, by the way. She's max. It's like she puts 1 point in Q, then 1 in W, 1 in Q, 1 in W, while you want to be max in Q, which is kind of weird.
Well, denting blows, you gotta shred that armor off the Shen, even though he hasn't built any, you know? True damage. True damage. Garen also opting in for the most expensive item in the game, even though he's quite behind.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not a bad item for him, but like just going as a Spectre's Cowl would definitely not hurt him.
No, that extra health regen mixed with his passive is quite good into something as trade heavy as the Mordekaiser, who has opted in for the Rylai's for those more extended trades. I think the Conqueror has done a lot more for him than it has done for the Garen. About 400 healing versus somewhere.
Yeah.
So not too much yet, but late game that is going to be quite a high number. Leona actually showing herself in the top lane, possibly. I don't know if she was spotted on the ward, but Garen might actually make the mistake of walking up here, even though Mordekaiser isn't there just yet. The W is used by Garen to try and stop as much as possible. The Solar Flare is missed, and he's just going to walk away. I don't think that Leona can catch up to try and get as much.
Like so far, all of Lost and Broken's ults have been so painful to watch.
Yeah, I think he expected the Garen to be CC'd a bit more, but of course Garen W does give you quite a bit of tenacity.
Also, he
So,
has Merc Codes and probably
oh, Beeg lands the stun
tenacity in
into
his
the mid lane.
runes.
This might actually spell doom for AD Reflection, but he's dodging everything. Okay, Beeg does have his ulti up again, but Leona is here to try and turn this around. And that is the crystal arrow used, but it misses just barely enough. Beeg is actually just a dancing machine as well as AD Reflection, and nothing is burned just yet.
Yeah, but the Drake is coming up in 20 seconds. If TSBA can get this, they will be on soul point, and with like a team fight comp as low damage as the one from HH, if they manage to get that ocean
Bubble
soul,
lands
it's
onto
gonna
the
be
Nautilus.
huge.
This could spell demise for him. He doesn't even proc Aftershock, and it's popped quite a bit. No ultimates up that, or no ultimates down that are super influential. The Solar Foot is back up. The Crystal Arrow will be back up in about 30-40 seconds. And that is another bubble landed, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to follow
Yeah,
up.
Rani's just tanking all the
damage.
bubbles.
Shenzhen does start the Drake. This might actually spell disaster for HH as they're getting collapsed on. Oh, Ronnie does die up in the end. Taunt misses, but it doesn't matter. Mordekaiser will just send somebody to the death realm. Samvit sitting in the background trying to do as much as he can with the Senna, but he doesn't have that much damage. Assault his battery is used on Beeg, who is in the dragon pit, kind of out of position. And it does look like TSBA are going to pick up the Drake and get themselves on Cloud Point. Oh, Flash is used by Curly to try and get Samvit, and he walks into the battle star. That is a
Yeah, this
double
looks
kill. for Zoe.
so doomed for the side of HH.
Yeah, 4 for 0. That is not something you want to see about 17 minutes.
Yeah,
game when
one
they're
thing I
about
would have liked
5K
to
up.
see was the Morta ulting the Shen, which he did, and then instantly turning on the Drake and bursting it while the Shen is still in the Death Realm. Because that's something that a Mordekaiser does that makes Drake fights so, and like Baron fights as well, so hard. If he ults the enemy jungler, then there's no way that the enemy team can contest. Which makes it so easy to steal it as well.
They do end up picking it up in the end. Curly picking up quite a few kills under his belt. And Shirtless doing his best as he can to try and dive the backline. Sam was doing his best to try and output as much damage, but in the end he does get caught out.
Yeah, and he doesn't
as
have
well
as much
as
damage as
Beeg.
well.
Yeah, Beeg
Just
was just
champ.
sitting in the Drake pit. That was ends up getting Vi-ulted to his
Try to
demise.
hide in the bush.
Exactly. Bush strats is all you need in Div 4. We've seen it both games actually. Some death bushes. TSBA are just sitting at what, like 6k gold lead right now at 18 minutes. That is brutal. So hopefully they can actually close out the game, because usually you don't really see them pressuring for towers. You usually see that they just want to win a fight, then try and take the turret. So hopefully we see a change of pace there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just gonna be a very hard game for HH to come back into. Like,
Do you believe they can?
Oh,
Bot lane flash is used by Lost and Broken to try and get anything off there. The
this
solar
man
flare
just
does
cannot
not
chain
stun.
a CC.
He can't land the solar flare for the life of him, and Ronnie does walk away. Does use the flash. Oh, the crystal arrow does miss, and flash used by Curly again. That was one he picked up, I believe. Stand United is used to try and save Samvit's
Very
life,
late as well.
but it was quite late, as you said, and quite a waste of the Shen ulti. I do believe he has Ultimate Hunter though, so it should be on quite. Only 3 stacks on Ultimate Hunter, and that is a 150-second cooldown on Stand United. So that could be quite crucial, especially now that TSBA have started Rift Arrow.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that HH can ever contest this anymore. And TSB knows this.
Oh no, Curly.
Curly knows
you don't want to be there. There's 3 people bot lane. You knew this, and that is just. I don't think we're allowed to show that. That's Zoe's. No.
Zoe's one. It's 1,000 years old. It's okay.
Hentai Haven really showing up their name there, but we don't talk about that.
I don't know. It's just so.
Oh no, Azco, my man. Azco 1-4 on the Garen. Not exactly his happy day. His Munda does get banned. Herald is dropped in the top lane, and that's
People in this ELA really don't understand that when on one side the enemy team has a man advantage, you just have to play safe. Azco doesn't respect the fact that there's 4 people from TSBA in the top side, and the same goes on in bot lane where Curly doesn't respect the fact that there's 3 people from HH. And both of them get punished accordingly, obviously.
In the immortal words of ex-FSN Saber, there's something called shredding of gank. If somebody's off the map, they're going to be by you. Play like they're going to be by you. And I think they could definitely learn by this. Oh no, TSBA with the flank. This could be everything that they're looking for. Samvit out of position once again. He does use the E to try and get away, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is still up. Nautilus is there. Wait, Ronnie is there to try and get some damage onto the Ashe, and that might just be enough. Shen does dash in, but it isn't enough to kill it. The Nautilus ulti does make her CC, and she does fall in the end to Shen. But the Vi is just battering down Stampede. She does not have ulti, and that is a 2 kills for Hentai Haven. That is 2 kills.
Yeah, but
as well
ABC
for
Man
TSBA.
Tanky can turn this around.
Oh
I feel
my
like.
god, ABC Man is just running them down. Used the death round before. Oh, failed flash from Stampede. The bubble does land onto the Garen as well, and that might just spell doom for
No!
Hentai Haven. Oh, but the passive Mordekaiser does pop the bubble. Asko still has R, and he picks up another kill onto Curly, who stepped up a bit too far. And that is the Arcane Barrage used by Beak, but oh, and he picks up another one. Asko coming up huge with 2 shutdowns. 3, 4, and 2 onto the Garen now, and that is going to be money in the bank.
ABC Man Tanky misses the E, and then Hard misses the Q, and then Curly knows that Garen is in that bush. He sees him walk in, he sees that he hasn't walked out yet because they had a ward on the other side of the bush, which I think didn't reveal the entire bush. But then he just runs in, and he knows that Garen with Triforce, he can just Q ult you, and you're dead as Zoe. Don't face check that shit. You throw your Q in, you throw your E in, and you wait for him to like walk over vision again so that you know where he is. But you'd never go into the face check. It's like the classic thing that you always do when you're playing an assassin when someone's chasing you, especially if it's someone squishy, just wait in a bush. If they don't ward it, they're dead.
I also believe we're starting to see a pattern here of one carry member showing up late to the fights in both these games, as ABC Man was there quite late, but it does look like Lost and Broken is going to get caught out. The Xerath, he does get her stunned.
He was lost, and he got broken. Happens.
And Leona can be quite broken in the right circumstances, but you actually have to land those solar flares. Curly is bursted quite a bit by Beak, who does have to use the flash because of that Nethergrass used by the Mordekaiser. Asko being quite overzealous there. The Stand United is used to try and do as much as he can, but the Mordekaiser are onto the Shen to try and stop that taunt from coming, but I don't think it would be worth it in the end. Shirtless does drop. Asko trying to
They
do
can
as much
clean.
as he can.
ABC Man Tanky can clean this.
AD Reflection doing as much as he can to get onto that Garen, but oh, the Enchanted Crusader lands onto Sambita. He doesn't have any cleanse to count for, and that is
Why
another
is Beak
kill.
trying to turn this? It's impossible.
Oh, that is Mordekaiser showing up huge, triple kill, and that's the gold lead showing up strong, even though
Yeah,
they
that's
didn't lose the
Ocean
last
Soul
fight.
as well. Like,
Oh
there's
my
no.
God.
Why did this Beak try to turn that solo? Like, it doesn't
Mechanical
make any sense.
misplays all over the place.
Yeah, there's so many mechanical mistakes, but also so many positioning errors. It's insane.
I mean, you have to expect it at some point from these types of teams, but of course it's something they can always improve on.
But I feel like
think these
TSBA is playing
Sorry?
this game way cleaner than HH was when they were ahead.
True. It
Not
does look
gonna lie,
like they're
this
gonna be able
this
to round
comp is
out this
very
game
easy to
330.
play as well.
They do have quite a quick Baron take as well, so they could probably force whatever they want as long as they don't misplay the fight like they did that top lane fight. I think they could probably close out this game before 30 minutes.
They should be able to. Like, honestly, if they're not able to, then they are just kind of newbies. But like I feel like they should be able to. Like, they should be able to set up vision for the Baron here, ward up the enemy red side, make sure they don't have any vision on the Baron, and then you can just start it. And when they come, you just turn and you kill them all. Like, it should be that
Sandy.
easy.
Senna, of course, has infinite scaling, but she's only sitting at around 51 stacks in 25 minutes, not exactly optimal. But it does look like the Predator is popped by Shen trying to force something, but they're just going to back off in the end, try and get some vision control around this mid lane. I am exhausted. This is back and forth both these games. We just saw that HH did win a fight before, so it is possible, very possible, that TSBA could throw this game just like HH did last game, but in the end they did not do anything. So I don't count anybody out just yet.
Yeah, but TSBA see that they're all in mid, and they know that this is their time to look for picks in the jungle.
Zoe, of course, with Ocean Drake can poke as much as they can. Death Brush is used, the taunt is used, but that does not mean that he can get out safe. The Death Realm does put him in the Shadow Realm, and he does die in the end. Nautilus does have to flash out, but Mordekaiser is just wrecking everybody in the back line, while AD Reflection is just wrecking everybody in the front line. That Ocean Drake
That should be a clean
keeps
ace.
everybody at full HP almost, and B
never
gets
mind.
away. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything. They start the Drake. They start the Baron.
Why would... I mean, going for Baron is one thing, but... Ah, wait, no, Beak doesn't have ult, so he can't actually steal it.
I mean, I think they should expect the Death Brushes. We've seen quite a few. Oh my god, Lost and Broken might pick up another kill. The Solar Flare is down, but that Aftershock and the W just pops. So Seraph down, HH down.
I mean,
Baron acquired.
You know, Lost and
Profit.
Broken was just practicing. Like, all of the games he misses his ult, and now he actually hits it on 3 people. Like, what a beast. You know, practice really does make perfect.
Exactly. You just got to go into a normal game. You know, you miss every single solo player you don't take.
But also,
He's taking
the
that
ones
to
you do take, or like at least
Yeah,
90%. But that one you do hit is the one that counts.
It's like Oriana. Fucking hate that chant, by the way. Oriana
Why?
does so much damage, and she's also, especially with phase rush, she can be quite slippery. But
Yeah.
she hit that shockwave, that one crucial shock. It's disgusting.
Oh yeah, Rani putting down the vision on the Baron.
Yeah, I think that's a bit late. There, Ronnie might be out of position here too as well.
Oh,
Lost
no.
and Broken does stun, but the dredge line does cancel out the CC, and she does get out safe.
Why is she just running in there, putting a pink on a Baron that they know is gone, and then almost gets killed?
I mean, vision control. She has vision score, right? She put it down. You can't blame her.
I mean, I guess she did. But she is keeping her regular wards, I suppose.
I mean, this Ocean Soul is just doing works for TSBA. I mean, Zoe and Ashe can just sit back, poke as much as they can. ABC man tanky, healing during these fights. He's now sitting at 10-1 with 3 items, and is probably going to be going for the Spirit Message as well for that extra healing. That is one scary Mordekaiser. Oh. Okay, Sam is just kind of letting the Mordekaiser do his own thing in the top lane. Doesn't look like he can stop him, really.
He can't stop him. Like, he's the
I think
worst guy to...
TSBA just need to force this. They just need to force a fight right now, or else Mordekaiser might just get caught out with his pants down.
Mordekaiser can just
Four
like
people.
Garnet by ulting one guy.
Of course, using the Death Realm to try and get as much damage as he can onto Sam, but both flashes used. I don't think you'll be able to kill him before it ends. You might just get caught out here. Zone is used to try and
that
stop him, but
club.
TSBA are doing nothing. TSBA are trying to catch out a Garen, a tanky Garen, and we don't even get it. The Dawning Shadow is used. Sam Vita does pick up that massive shutdown onto the Mordekaiser. The Stand United, excuse me, is used to try and save him.
This is
Nautilus,
over.
but it's not enough. The shield is not going to save you from that amount of CC.
I mean-
TSBA misplayed it a bit, but it doesn't matter. Oh, Ashe flashing forward to try and get a kill onto the Senna. The taunt is landed as well onto the Ashe, but of course the stopwatch was picked up earlier, and the Ocean Drake is just going to keep her alive, and that is going to
Ocean Soul is so strong as well, but ABC Mantanki was able to just, you know, solo 4 people for quite a bit while TSBA took the mid lane inhib and then won the game. This
we
is
did
a
see
way
some
stronger show than
improvements.
the last time.
We saw some improvements from both teams this game, but in the end, TSBA just had that early game advantage and completely snowballed. HH did try and get one good fight into the top lane, but I think that was more just an error from TSBA, and it didn't really end up doing anything. Looking at the damage charts, Beeg, I feel like did play quite well. He actually is sitting 3rd on the damage charts. Mordekaiser, of course, sitting quite high up there along with Zoe. They just had free reign to do whatever they wanted with that Ocean Soul. So, well played by TSB. It's going to be 1-1, and this is a best of 3, of course, so one more game to cast, one more
Maybe
game to
swapping out
watch.
Power Fruit was all they needed in the end.
Possibly, because in the end it did snowball, and Shirtless, he did what he did on the jungler. Of course, Stand United was quite crucial in the Shen in the early game, but in the end, it doesn't really matter as they just get bursted and CC'd down. And we're just gonna have to call it there, and then we'll see you guys in game 3. Be right back. Sold my soul for some devil and designer. Oh, hello there. My name is Alexander Lascamel. I am joined by Time and Felt Makabal, and this is Balance League Div 4. For those of you still tuning in, this is the best of 3 between Hentai Haven and the SlowBros Academy, sitting at 1-1 so far. Both
Yeah.
games quite interesting to watch, quite interesting to cast. Game 1 was a slaughterfest. Second game was a slaughterfest.
But it was significantly cleaner though. So
was-
and it allowed us to queue bronze scrapes.
Bronze scrapes, gold scrapes in some cases, or in Curly's case, it's unranked scrapes. But
What? No.
or for
Ah.
me, it's blank for me. That might just be a bug.
For
And
me, it
that's-
shows a shit ton of games gold 3, but that might just be
oh,
me.
client, just it's caster's curse. That's all it is. Client is just messing with me, trying to make me look like an idiot, even though I kind of already did. Of course, sing City of Angels by 24K Golden before you guys caught me off guard. Welcome back. I mean, not much to say other than both these games have been quite back and forth, very Div 4-esque. Both mid laners have been doing their best to try and carry. Bot laners, Sambi hasn't exactly been putting on the best performance. AD Reflection's been quite consistent. And last game, ABC man Tanky put on quite a show on Mordekaiser, almost solo carrying the game. And Asco on the Mundo in game 1 also did quite well for himself. So both teams having their own share of good players in this series so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to yawn. I just can't help it, man.
It is late. It's getting there.
My brain is starting to shut off from watching all this Div 4 gameplay, but I do feel like game 2 was at least on a macro, like on a macro level, it was better than game 1, because game 1 was just clowning all around by both teams, and game 2 is still like a slight amount of clowning from both teams, but like at least TSVA did seem to have the control in like all of the game, so they managed to get some stuff done.
Seems to be a reverse of the high reload divisions, where it's game 1 and 2 that are the tryhards, and game 3 that's the absolute clown fest. So
Game
hopefully
3 they just play blind pick like the Koreans did.
they just like roll swap. They just flip a coin, see who plays, and usually most people skip game 3 because it is such a clown fest. But this time we're gonna have to sit through it. Of course, TSBA and HH gonna battle it out for that playoff spot, and we are soon gonna be getting into draft. But it does look like Curly is gonna be sitting in the mid lane instead of Power Fruit once again. He was subbed in for game 2, put on the Zoe, and he did
Yeah,
quite
not
well
sure
for himself.
why actually. I'll ask. Why did you sub
Gotta get that
out
info.
Power Fruit? Yeah, I asked him. I asked.
Yeah, all you gotta do is
TSBA.
ask. See,
Exactly.
people, it's not that hard. You just gotta, if you need something, all you gotta do is ask. It's a little help from my friends. Sometimes all you need is a little help from your friends, the admin team, Google, Wikipedia, drugs, caffeine, all that stuff.
Cool.
Cool. We're just waiting for both teams to come back from their hydration session. Of course, I am sitting here with 3 water bottles lined up to make sure my throat doesn't burn up from all this play-by-playing, as everything is happening. Actually, last game we had a point where Fout was watching the bot lane, I was watching the top lane, and things were happening all around the map.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, and then afterwards we had a moment where I was watching top lane and Last was watching bot, and on both sides there were kills.
hopefully
know.
the camera was watching mine because I was play-by-playing it, but you never know, I might be looking like an idiot. Again, caster's curse. I can't tell what's harder to cast in Division 4, color or play-by-play, because, I mean, color, there's not much really you can say, because they don't really think through that much, and play-by-play...
Just don't really think. I think you can leave it at that.
Yeah, I'll just cut the sentence short there, while play-by-play is kind of just... It's like Screamo, except constant for like 50 minutes, depending on the game.
Were you?
Bodies hit the floor.
How close to your mic was that water bottle, by the way?
Very close.
Yeah, I heard
Did it
a
sound weird?
slight, like the sound of someone screaming into a bottle.
Oh, you were born in the dark.
I was born in it, molded by it. I hadn't seen the light of day till I was already a man.
Pre-draft shenanigans, and that I'm afraid are going to have to end as we are coming to draft. Any expected bans, Fout?
Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to see the exact same bans from H8. They're going to ban Lilia, Eve, and what was it? The last one they banned was Morgana, and then oh, never mind. Okay.
$50.
R.I.P.
Vagar, of course, Big putting on a quite carry performance in game 1 on Vagar. So obvious ban there. Morgana, of course, as you were saying.
I don't
Morgana,
know why they keep banning Morgana, because
yeah, I mean,
Adorkable's entire champ pool is basically e-girls, and they are
okay.
very good into playing, like, they're very good into Morgana.
I mean, you might say that her entire champ pool is Eagles, but we have seen her play quite a few of engaged supports, not to very much success, as both these bot laners have not exactly been doing much in the laning phase. It's mostly come down to when the jungler or the mid laner is there, which is kind of sad to see because they're
Oh,
picking.
Lilia is open this time.
Oh, possibly they might ban it. Elise is also open. But I was just saying that these bot laners, these bot lanes have been picking these engage heavy, trade heavy bot lanes. Leona, Nautilus,
Yeah, and then they don't trade.
and then they do absolutely nothing. No level 2 advantages, no trades. We've seen Senna both games. And both games they've come out of laning phase with about 11 stacks
It's
because
so
they're not even
great.
trading.
Okay,
So
first
hopefully
pick Ezreal. That's just
Ezreal, even
sprinting
though
it.
Ashe is up. Okay.
Ash is
Sam
not up.
obviously.
Ash is not up. They banned
Oh,
it.
Ashe is banned. Sorry, my bad. Ezreal Kaisa, what is this? Worlds 2019?
But imagine, like, they're gonna look at Yumi with the
If they, yeah,
Ezreal,
if
and
they
then TSBA is gonna look Nautilus, and they're so fucked.
Yeah, okay. So Kaisa does extremely well as Vayne into Ezreal. Just the amount of pure dueling power. Ezreal doesn't exactly have as much dueling power as he would like. He's more of a poke champion. So of course anything. Oh,
Ah, okay.
big oof! As 2 players from TSBA have left the lobby.
Client died. Oh, RIP.
Champ select bug. Unfortunate. We'll have to see if we redo draft or it will continue as. Does seem like it will continue as planned, be as before. As I was saying, the Kaisa into the Ezreal. I mean, all you really got to do on Kaisa is dodge maybe 1 or 2 Qs. As long as Ezreal doesn't have E up, even if he does with the ulti, it's quite easy to follow him if he uses the E or the flash. So,
I like playing Kai'Sa into Ezreal as well.
I
It's
love
like,
playing that matchup.
I mean, when Ezreal has like a Karma or something, like an aggro early support, it can actually be quite rough, because then the Ezreal can actually pressure you, but if he doesn't, then you can just freely scale into him, and you can like 1v1 him at any stage of the game.
Also, with the possible Yuumi pick that we were discussing, usually what you see with Ezreal Yuumi is a pretty safe laning phase. You usually want to try and get through it. But what Yuumi usually does into the mid game is that they jump onto usually a jungle
Bruiser.
carry
Yeah.
or a bruiser and try and just scale it from there. And Ezreal, of course, being one of the safest AD carries in the game, sort of just chills out on his own, tries to CS, maybe poke out mid lane a bit, maybe get a lane swap involve. Yuumi is just trying to get everyone else ahead as much as possible.
Yeah, so a little bit of intel. TSBA is gonna pick Nautilus. That's what they just said in the custom game lobby. Which means that once again, these people they just can't stop blind picking support randomly when it's not necessary.
Almost, I think every game it's been AD carry support.
Yeah, and it's so int. Like, there's no reason to pick support that early. Like, I mean, obviously, when you're playing Nautilus and you know that the enemy is probably gonna play an Enchanter, and they ban Morgana themselves, you know, you're gonna have a golden time. But normally it would be so so insanely int.
It's going to be quite interesting to see if they can actually use the Nautilus pick, as they've been prioritizing it almost like it's the beginning of season 10, but they haven't really been using it to its full effect before 15 minutes. We did see quite a good few ultimates coming out from Lost and Broken the first game.
What are you gonna see the fucking
Elise.
Elise?
He did pick his comfort pick or his pocket pick, excuse me, the Shen last game. So we might actually see his comfort pick in the Elise here, as it was left open last game as well. Of course, Elise being quite an early game jungler with a lot of dive setup. So I'll be surprised if they can set something
Braum,
up,
okay.
but it would be interesting to watch. Braum is hovered from HH. Braum, quite interesting with Ezreal. Of course, they can poke the concussive blows from range with the auto reset from his Q as well, which
I
is
mean, I
quite
feel
good.
like with Braum, like Ezreal is one of the strong. Like Ezreal Braum is actually not a weak lane.
Not at all, actually.
Yeah, like
Uh,
Braum only has very few lanes that he can actually play like aggro, and that's like combined with Lucian and combined with Ezreal. So that's actually not too bad, and it's also fine into the Nautilus.
Uh-oh, Mordekaiser makes it through ban phase, and it looks like they thought Zoe was a better ban.
No, but Mundo is
Mordekaiser,
open. They have to ban Mundo now. If they don't ban Mundo, they, like
that
it's
might be
not
a
like
bit
Asco will
iffy,
just
though.
lock Mundo, and if he buys Adaptive Helm, then Kai'Sa and Mordekaiser will have such a rough time against him.
Yeah, Mordekaiser, of course, ABC Man Tanky, or
Yeah, Mundo instantly
Bob
banned.
Destroyer, as he's also known, did quite a show. I think he went about 13-2 or so on the Mordekaiser last game, and just absolutely demolished most of the team fights in the backline. As both teams have been picking quite a mobile AD carries this time. They've been picking a little bit more mobile. Kai'Sa, of course, having mobility on her R and yeah, kind of her E, and Ezreal, of course, being super safe with his Arcane Shift. So hopefully we'll see some different play styles from the AD carries rather than being caught out of position constantly.
Why did they ban Poppy?
Poppy into
Does that mean
Mordekaiser?
that
That's
they're looking to play like a Lee Sin or some shit in the jungle?
Lee Sin into Elise. That is quite a early game snowball battle. Nope, the Vi is instantly locked for shirtless as he played it last game as well, and he did decently well. He did show up quite a few ganks and counter ganked Shenzhen quite a bit on the Shen there as well. And he had some good assault and batteries to pick off stragglers in fights. So not surprised to see it too much, as it does seem to be quite comfort.
I mean, I think it's weird that he's not just picking the Lilia here, because with the enemy team you kind of get free scaling.
Nasus.
These drafts are all over the place, man. I haven't
What?
seen Elise,
Mo-
Nasus, Malzahar, Vian for so long.
We better see some wave clear in the mid lane, otherwise
Xerath, they're gonna
Malzahar.
lock Xerath.
They
Or
most
Azir.
likely. Of course, Malzahar having
Oh
extremely
wait, Azir's
quick
banned.
wave.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna lock Xerath.
Malzahar with his voidlings and
Wait.
his
But how good would Kassadin be here?
You're joking, right?
Or, well, no, it's actually good.
Would it?
What?
I can't even tell anymore. Mid lane matchups aren't exactly my strong suit.
Yeah, I
But
mean, you can if you're good, you can cancel the Malzahar ult
watch Curly go cleanse.
yourself.
Watch Curly go cleanse.
Yeah, I will watch him go cleanse. I'm fully ready. Like my body is ready. Like every pore, every
Cleanse
cell.
doesn't take suppression, as some people do know. Some people don't. Nasus locked in for the top lane. Nasus into Mordekaiser doesn't exactly seem like the best matchup for the Nasus. I think it's more just late game insurance.
Are they?
Extremely late game insurance.
No, but Beak has Nasus at the moment. Wait, are they gonna put Asco mid or are they gonna put the Nasus mid?
Wait, they can't do. Okay, yeah, they had to swap. 20-second swap rule, of course, in PL does mean that this is might just be a lane swap, or it is Nasus mid into the Corki, which is, I would think, even worse for the Nasus. So hopefully we see Asco just go mid with the Mordekaiser. It might be a comfort pick for him. Beag might just be a Nasus OTP. I don't have the OPD.GG in front of me. But of course, I asked you this first game. You answered it yourself. Second game. Who do you think won draft here? I think it's kind of obvious though.
I mean, just like TSBA should have won draft. I feel like. I don't know why you would pick Nasus, Miles, or Elise at this point in the game. Like Ezreal is their only source of real AD damage in the mid game, and like, yes, he's very mobile, but Nautilus R and Vi R will follow him everywhere, so he's gonna have a rough time. Yeah, but I'm not sure. Like I've never seen a Nasus into a Mordekaiser or a Corki. Like I wouldn't know. I feel like Mordekaiser just hard slaps him though. But
Desperation
who are
move
we to say?
from HH, trying to lock in what we believe is comfort, seeing as these champions aren't exactly the most meta currently. Of course, Comfort Pick has a history of being quite decent in VL. Maybe not on par with meta picks, but if it's needed, it's needed. So hopefully we get to see some action, maybe some more mechanical outplays. Bot lane matchup is going to be quite mechanics focused, as the Braum can play this matchup quite well and make it so that Kai'Sa can't really do anything against the Ezreal. And of course, not much sustain there either. Mid lane, if this is the Malzahar mid lane and they're just lane swapping,
I feel like they're both just gonna chill. Like,
yeah, I think it's just going to be Azko on the Malzahar just pushing in the lane and not doing much with it. Hopefully, we see some roams from him because of Malzahar's natural wave clear. Corki doesn't really have that much, as his Q does need to get some points into it as well as some damage before he can start clearing waves rather quickly. And so I don't think it's going to be much in terms of trades in the mid lane. Top lane is going to be a slog fest for Nasus for the first 15 minutes.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's gonna struggle a lot. Yeah, once again, I actually have no idea.
It is definitely interesting, but I mean, I'd rather take interesting over another Senna Ashling. So.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think it's just so boring.
And Corki is your anybody?
Corki's ear is
Corki
also
meta?
very boring, but
What was that one bot lane meta as well? Ophelio Senna, of course. Misfortune meta.
Misfortune of Philios, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank God that they're buffing both those champions coming up soon.
They already buffed Misfortune. Are
They
they gonna
already
buff
did?
her again?
No, I think they're just gonna buff Ophelio. So I thought there was another buffing.
Ah.
I don't know, man. Riot's just pumping up for Worlds. I think next patch is the Worlds patch, but I don't think Yone or Samira are gonna be available during Worlds, as far as I know. But back to the game at hand, instead of wishing we could be watching LEC instead. Here we're watching TSBA and Hentai Haven, which could be good fun. So
Yeah, it might be just as exciting.
Might just be. Looking at runes, don't see anything too out of the ordinary. Ezreal does have Conquer. Of course, Conquer has been nerfed quite a few times, and now it requires 12 stacks, which was quite a while ago, which did put Ezreal off a little bit. We've seen some lethal tempos, some PTAs on Ezreal lately. But of course, if you want to be sitting back and spamming those Qs, Conquer can be quite good as well. I do think lethal tempo could be a little bit better into Kai'Sa, as she is quite duel heavy, so that extra attack speed could help. Again, opting for the heal exhaust. We've been seeing that from HH bot lane all game. It does look like currently that it's gonna be.
Combat Malzahar though, I don't quite get it, but.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. I think Airy is usually what you go, due to that you can proc it twice, I believe, with his Malefic Visions. But I think he's just gonna be looking to try and get it, pushing the wave, maybe get
Ravenous
a roam off.
Hunter as well on Shenzhen.
Curly did not indeed. It did not actually go cleanse. So applaud to him. Small little golf clap.
Kai'Sa did go cleanse though.
Kai'Sa did go cleanse, so hopefully some bot lane roams from Malzahar.
It better not be against the Malzahar, but because I don't think against the just the least is enough to warrant it. But I mean, there's only one way to find out, I suppose.
We might see some matched roams.
Oh, some Veta actually running double armor in his runes.
Interesting. So he's just trying to survive the laning phase, even though Kai'Sa has quite a bit of magic damage in his kit, as well as Corki.
But Kai'Sa is not going Presence of Mind. If I see this man build Mirror Mana and not have Presence of Mind, I don't know. I don't know what I will do.
This might be the Essence Reaver build. They might try and end the game before 20 minutes.
I mean, against Malzahar and Nasus, it's very possible, but against Elise, it's somewhat hard.
We will be right back, as we are going to pause in 10 seconds. Yeah, about 13 seconds, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14. There, yep. Alright. And
We're back.
We're all synced up and ready to partay, as this is game 3, of course. It does look like it's going to be another possible invade from HH. I believe they've been trying this every single game. Deathbrush, are they expecting the Nautilus invade?
I guess they are, but nothing's gonna happen, obviously.
I mean,
Like,
I do believe they have pretty good invade with the Kaisa having very good level 1 with her ISO Q and her
it
passive.
does 80 reflection start cull every single game, by the way.
I mean,
And also,
underutilized item possibly.
Lost and Broken still has Ultimate Hunter and Zombie Ward once again. He just
does
loves
look
that
like
rune so much.
the Nasus is going top lane. Just gonna swap that around on my scoreboard.
Yeah, me
As the
too.
mouse, it was actually just Asco going mid lane, so they felt like Asco. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable on this champion, so sure, we'll give it a try. It's game
Well,
3.
let's hope it shows.
Game 3 shenanigans. Some comfort picks on HH. So Beeg, of course, he did come into the league and was well known for his Nasus as well as his Maokai, as if I recall correctly. So hopefully we can see another carry performance from him. Sitting 1-1 in the games right now, so anybody could get into the playoff spot here. And nothing right now. There is a ward onto the blue buff for HH, which does give them a little bit info that Elise is starting bot side, and they can hopefully track him off that.
Yeah, I mean they're already pinging him. They're just gonna like Elise is gonna go top and Shirtless is gonna path bot. So I don't know why exactly, because I don't feel like the HH bot lane is that gankable. And but I feel like Shenzhen putting Nasus out of his misery or like helping him is actually very like good for them early. But yeah, I don't quite know what to expect just yet, because these are all matchups you kind of never see.
Yeah, definitely an interesting choice of champions, but I do feel like this is going to be the battle of 2 item spikes for both these teams. Kaisa, of course, sitting very, very comfortably with the Muramana and the Ginsus, having 2 of her evolutions at that point, if I recall correctly. As well as Corki with the Muramana and the Triforce also having quite a bit of damage himself. On the side of HH,
What point did you say about the evolutions?
the evolutions, I believe that Kaisa has 1 evolution and almost on her way to her E with the Ginsu's Muramana.
Yeah, she needs like if she has boots as well, she
Stinger
needs
as
like
well.
30%.
Yeah, she needs the Stinger as well to get her.
Yeah. Exactamundo.
Beeg also decent 2 item spike if he can get some stacks under his belt. So hopefully around that time we're going to see some slog heaviness, as long as there's not too much snowballing going around with these junglers. Shenzhen might look for a cheeky little topside game, because Mordekaiser is pushed up quite a bit. I don't think he knows that she's here. This could actually spell danger. The Wither is dropped onto Mordekaiser. He does use the Nethergrass to try and pull the Nasus a little bit closer.
He kind of has to flash
the
a
Cocoon is flashed away. That was Shenzhen could have gotten a bit closer, but it doesn't look like Vi is going to try and get some damage with the bot lane, but it's just going to be blocked by Braum. Top lane is just going to be burnt flash from Mordekaiser. I think that was a bit early of a Cocoon there from Shenzhen. I feel like he could have just walked way closer.
Yeah, he can just wait it out. Like, and if ABC Mentanki uses the flash before he used Cocoon, he could just use Cocoon and follow.
The Wither
Like,
was
there's
also
no need to
dropped.
flip it there.
Oh boy. I could have been sick to see a prediction, but I mean, you know, you can hope, but not very probable.
But he can
ABC
like you flash him probably.
Yeah, he's still sitting in lane, a bit chunked, but so are both the top laners, so this could just be a trade fest. What do you think? Talk about junglers here a bit. You're a jungle player, pal. How
Yeah,
do you think that these junglers should path or play this early game?
I mean both of them obviously are like good at early game. Vi is really good at like securing early dragons solo, and like but their ganks really get unlocked at level 6, and Elise should like look to gank as much as possible. Maybe
Speaking
set
of
up a dive
Elise,
as well.
Possible bot lane gank. The Cocoon is still up, but AD Reflection does have plans. He's going to use that instead of the flash. I don't actually know if he actually had to use it there, as Ezreal was
I
taking
don't think
the
he
entire
did,
minion
no.
wave. Ezreal taking the entire minion wave, about half of his HP and mana gone, and AD Reflection is just going to back and possibly pick up a pickaxe. Of course, for you non-Kaisa players, a double pickaxe back is usually what you want to see, as the both the pickaxes build into your core items, the Muramana and
I mean, what would be good here is that like Sanvete has to go back soon for his tier, and Vi is in the bot side. So the moment his bot lane gets back into lane and the enemy bot lane bases is right when they can do Drake. So let's see if they are actually going for that.
Good call, good call. Oh, flash Nethergrasp onto the Cocoon CC chain, but he does still have flash, but he's silenced! He can't use the flash 6 CC chain by Hentai Haven. They end up picking up first blood onto Curly.
It was so forced. It looked so forced. I was like, nah, this is too forced. But then it just
burn,
barely
actually,
worked
for it.
out, yeah.
It does look like Shenzin's a bit out of position here. The Nautilus is also there. He does end up picking up the Scuttle Crab. I
Wait,
forgot the name there, but he does use the repel. He doesn't have the flash. He just used it in the mid lane gang. He might actually get away, but no, the Vault Breaker does end up picking up the kill. Shenzhen a bit.
Wait,
too
why are they
easy
not
there.
going for Drake? Why are they not starting Drake?
Oh, and
Oh,
Pink
now
coming
they
out,
are.
though.
They
might
heard
be
me, I
target
think.
now.
Maybe they're stream sniping.
But it does look like AMD, or I keep seeing AMD. Haiti Reflection is trying to freeze to the best of his ability.
Why
for
isn't
slow
he
push.
starting it?
Hard to see what he's doing right now. I think this will end up becoming a slow push. So maybe there's
Why
slow push
didn't he
here.
start Dragon?
I'm sorry, Fat. This must hurt as a jungle man to watch.
Yeah, I
this.
mean, Vi is one of the among she's definitely up there with like Shyvana and Warwick for like soloing Drakes early. Like she knows that they haven't got it warded, right? She can just use Q to get over the wall and not
some
walk
actual
over the scuttle.
engages here into the bot lane, but it does look like it's just going to be a quick trade. Nothing actually burned or no damage really taken as both the supports kind of just walk away unscathed while both the
Sanveta also went pickaxe, by the way, instead of getting tier.
Yeah, I mean, if you went lethal tempo, I'd be okay with that, but seeing as you're going conquer, I think 2 would have been better. Nautilus still has his flash, Deadline is used to get away, Cocoon completely misses. What I really want to see from the Kai'Sa this game is some roams. If she can get, because of her natural ability to absolutely shit on this Ezreal, excuse my French, I do believe that he will be able to, especially with those R buffs that happened about, I don't know, 10 patches ago that gave him extra range. Kai'Sa's roaming potential, and it's something that you usually don't see on AD carries, and it's completely underutilized, is just roaming mid. Or
I
lane
mean,
swapping so
but
that
like
you can
roaming
get
mid for her does literally nothing because the Corki doesn't have any setup, so she has to rely on hitting like a long range W to actually be able to do anything.
with the Vi, I think they could actually get something ahead. I was more thinking that they could get the Corki ahead with the Kai'Sa item spike. With the evolution, the ISO Q on Kai'Sa is very volatile. But
Yeah,
of
it's
course,
so
it's all
strong.
subjective if the Kai'Sa does actually get ahead, because right now it's sort of just a farm fest.
Yeah, I was thinking they would just go for the early Drakes, but most of these teams they just don't seem to know when good when the moment is to
Nautilus
start
is sitting
Drake.
behind trying to get something out of Sam, but it doesn't look like. Again, just a dredge line into absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like there's any opportunity for either of the bot lanes to really do anything in this lane.
Package is picked up by Corky. The Drake is up. We might.
Yeah,
be
they
able
better
to
look
see
for Drake now
something.
then.
Yeah, the package, I can't exactly see how long it's gonna sit for, but he might just use it mid lane here. As it doesn't look like Vi's gonna start anything really. ABC Man is the only top laner with TP currently, so they could definitely just look for this, but it just looks like they're clearing vision. Nope. Shirtless does end up starting.
Why
with
does he
Drake.
kite it onto the... maybe
yeah,
it's
now
barely
that-
out of vision actually, let me check.
Well, they see that they're auto attacking it, so they definitely know they're on it.
Yeah, no, they can see
Uh,
it. It's actually
Package
on.
is used to try and zone off Asco as much as possible.
Oh
the-
no,
the
that's
true
tragic.
But I mean, Shenzin's gonna get caught out here. He's using Cocoon, but he can't get out. He has no flash, and they do end up picking up Asco as well, who is out of position. Double kill for AD Reflections. That's exactly what you want to see onto your Kai'Sa right now. And of course, HH end up picking the Drake, but lose 2 for it.
Yeah, I feel like HH should never be able to even get that Drake. Like it does end up being a good trade for the side of TSBA, but like it's really sloppy that they allowed at least to just get into the pit and steal.
I gotta say, I expected some things from the Elise pick, but right now, Shenzhen not really showing up at all. Not
Yeah,
really
the thing
doing
is,
much
with
the
Elite, like the one of the reasons Elise is not good right now is the fact that she heavily relies on setting up early dives and getting a lot of that early aggro play out. But if you don't dive and you don't really get a lead early, like she just descales so hard, like she's not gonna be a good champ. And you're really seeing that here because she doesn't really get anything off in the early game, and that's kind of sad. Like she should just be like mid lane whenever Malzahar has ult, but she isn't. She was there once.
Yeah, she did end up. They did end up picking up first blood, getting onto the Malzahar, but they haven't really been utilizing that much. Azko, of course, getting picked off by that Drake fight.
If you have a Malzahar or a Lissandra or like an Ashe in your lanes, like on ult cooldown, just sprint towards that lane and just collect your free kills.
Possible pick onto Shenzhen here by the Rift Herald, but doesn't look like they're going to do much of it. It does look like a lane swap has occurred as well for GTA.
Why is Shirtless not dodging any of the empowered autos from the Herald as well?
Yeah, I was actually gonna talk about that. He wasn't exactly hitting the eye either.
Yeah.
Quite inefficient use of the Rift Herald, or take of the Rift Herald.
But and also when you're in a situation where you've got control of an objective and your jungler is forced to like 50-50 smite, you did something wrong as a team.
This is a 3-man lane swap. Corki going top and Mordekaiser heading bot, while Kai'Sa and Nautilus just sitting mid lane, trying to match up with his Malzahar's wave clear. Kai'Sa, of course, with the ISO Q, picking up that Muramana. And, oh wait, should she not have ISO Q actually? No, actually she doesn't. My bad. I thought she had the pickaxe. No. Still only at 6 missiles.
She's just chilling.
She's just chilling. Ezreal's actually chilling as well. He, sitting up ahead in farm. But he's about, oh, this might be a fight. The cocoon is used, but AD Reflection does flash to get it out. Concussive blows onto the Nautilus does kill him, but it does look like
flash from Lost and Broken was so late. They can keep going here.
The fail flash from Shirtless Q, but the Assault and Battery does end up picking up the kill. Sam Veth, they uses both of his sums, but he ends up dying anyway.
They can maybe take the stat. The Herald is too early. They should have been able to. Yeah, but they could have been able to get like triple plate and then drop the Herald, but it's whatever.
It's small things like that you see in usually the higher divs, but they end up getting quite a bit of gold on their side, sitting about 1k over now at 12 minutes. I was talking about how Sam was doing quite well for himself in terms of CS, keeping up evenly with AD Reflection. Even now, sitting 50 gold up on the Kai'Sa, even though Kai'Sa has the 2 kills for herself.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like one of those chill lanes. Like none of the bot lanes can really do something to the other, so they just handshake and start farming, I guess.
Bro lane.
Yeah.
That's a throwback. Speaking of bro lane, this Nasus is just chilling. Sitting at 200 stacks at 13 minutes. Not the greatest, but it's definitely not something you're complaining about for Hentai.
Yeah, I mean, he's having like a wet noodle fight together with ABC Mantanki, right? But there's like none of them can really kill the other one. They just barely lack the damage, even in an extended trade. And because both of the junglers aren't actually putting any like effort towards doing anything top, they can both just scale for free. But I feel like Nasus should scale harder.
Even more of a CS fest than last game, and nice change of pace. Of course, I was talking about want to see mechanical outplays, but not something you usually see in a game 3. It does look like they might be cut out in the mid lane. Dorkable is forced to use a flash. The package is used as well to try and get anything onto it. The W from the Kai'Sa is used to try and burst, but the Q as well. They don't have flash, but they do end up picking up a Dorkable there. But the True Barrage, what is the name? True Shot Barrage.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm stuttering here, but does end up picking up the kill onto Curly, who did overextend a little bit, tank a couple tower shots with that package, but it was a good idea from TSB. They just were a bit overzealous.
Yeah, I mean they should just still be able to look for a Drake here, but they're not really preparing any vision, and it's kind of sad because they're not really like. It seems because of the lower amount of kills that people are playing smarter, but it's just that most lanes are just not able to kill each other. And that's why it looks like they're playing smarter and slow.
Killing each other in the lane, Mordekaiser does drop the Breath Drum to try and kill onto the Nasus, but he ends up popping the Fear of the Sands, try and get as much HP as he can, and walks away. Having to back, he does have his TP though, but no flash for this upcoming Drake fight.
They should be able to just start this.
No package up for the Corki. But Samvete might actually be late to this party, and Beak is quite first that he's lifestealing as much as he can, but it does look like they're just gonna leave this Ocean Drake uncontested, and that means we're transferring to an Infernal map, and that is gonna be Infernal Soul. And
Let's
Infernal
go.
Soul on
Corky.
Corky and Kaisa is one scary mofo.
I mean, it's scary on both teams, yeah, but slightly scarier on the side of TSB. Because they have better poke, but like on Ezreal it's also pretty strong. Because he can poke it quite easily.
As you pointed out in the early game, the Drake wasn't taken until about 5 minutes in the game, so Drake Soul, more in favor for Hentai Haven that it is a bit later into the game, but if TSB are able to use the snowball, they might be able to get the Soul before HH can get any more
I also
Drake
like
damage.
how Samvete is actually buying pink wards, right? But he's not placing the wards like his trinket wards, he just had 2 stacks on him. Which is like, okay, yeah, he's putting effort towards warding, but then he still has a 2 vision score.
2 vision score on the 80 carry. That's 16 minutes into the game. You usually want to be warding more. Level 9 on Samvete and 80 Reflection. 80 Reflection has picked up the far side.
Yeah, he should have the evolution as well. Like that's gonna be
And
so strong.
he does have enough. He has more than enough stacks on the Muramana and the extra pickup. So
But
he does have his
he does not have the fucking presence of mind.
He doesn't have presence of mind, but he ends up going to Muramana anyways. My idea about SG rebuild was completely thrown out the window.
He probably just saw that, you know, most ADCs go bloodline, and there's this one thing that I think Sneaky is the one that does it, where he goes cull and cut down, right? So he's probably like, oh yeah, I want to do this every game, because he goes cull and cut down every game. He did it on Senna as well. Just so he just wants to use it to combine it with the cull, because he probably heard that somewhere once. But he completely forgets that presence of mind just gives so much value when combined with a Muramana.
Quite core on Kaisa as well. Mordekaiser dropping the Death Realm in the bot lane to try and stop Beak, but again he's just going to pop his ultimate and probably just run away. Doesn't look like it's going to be much there. While the rest of TSB are actually starting with Drake, but Shenson might be out of position here. He does get hit by the Dredge line, but the Nether Grasp is used to just burst shirtless, and they might just pick up the Drake for the Rift Herald for themselves, and it is picked up by Shenzhen.
I'm still waiting for Shirtless to hit a Q.
Yeah, skill shots. Skill shots are hard, man.
True.
Herald is used immediately into the mid lane to try and crack open this map, which might be what HA.
Yeah, they should have it before ABC Mentanki has it.
Opening up the map for Nasus is exactly what you want, giving him more room to farm and maybe even freeze a longer lane. He is currently sitting at 345 stacks. That is quite big. I think they're going to be quite surprised once he comes into these fights.
Yeah, I mean, the game is still quite even. It's like there's like a slight gold lead for the side of HH, but I feel like when the 20-minute mark comes and this Nasus has his Triforce, that's when fights will really start breaking out, and that's where things will get interesting. And I think for now,
these fights are going to look?
I mean, I feel like it's just going to be the side of TSBA completely ignoring the fact that Nasus is trying to run down the Kaisa or the Corki. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's gonna happen, but we'll see. Like I feel like it's just gonna be an engage from the side of TSBA on like the Ezreal, and they try to kill him, but then Malzar just ult someone and then they just get locked down. But yeah, it really depends.
Speaking of the Ezreal, Samvete is actually doing quite well for himself on the Ezreal here. He's not that far ahead of his counterpart, but 3-1, 300 gold bounty, sitting over the rest of his team. He's not exactly playing badly this game.
Nah, I really think giving him some mobility so he doesn't get punished for his positioning quite as much really helps.
Definitely.
Because that's what I was getting punished for last time the most.
Yeah.
Like him just being like a Senna or an Ashe, just standing way too far forward and getting punished accordingly.
Speaking of mobile champions being punished for their positioning, this Nasus might be punished by the Corki coming in with the package. I don't really see why he
I don't think Corki can 1v1 him though.
I don't see, I mean, he does have TP for this Drake fight, but that is an early package if he plans on using it for the Drake fight. Might have been a little bit of a waste. We'll have to
Probably.
see as both the people in the top lane right now do have their TP, and the Drake
He's trying to
is
poke down
spawning
the
very
Nasa,
soon.
but still not doing anything.
No, that lifesteal in his passive coming up clean. Curly's trying to TP, but Nasus knows exactly what he's doing. He's trying to pressure him as much as he can. TSB have started up the Drake, and of course they do have that percent health damage on Kaisa, who has picked up the Ginsus for herself, so this is going to be quite a bit of damage. Death Realm is used onto the Elise to try and stop him from doing that Drake, and that is a lot of damage coming out from him. Samvidi is hit by the Assault and Battery, and even with the mobility, he's just going to get bursted down. The Kaisa ulting in to try and pick it up for herself, but it's end up getting picked up by Lost and Broken on the Nautilus. The Nether Grasp is used to take down the Nautilus as well. Double kill for him. The Elise is still alive, actually, and that might just be enough.
Yeah, this is gonna be a quadra for them.
Oh no! That might be a
Maldar.
quadra kill for Asco. Quadra kill, taking down the jungler shirtless. As you're saying, missing another Q, and what a turnaround!
Yeah, the thing is, Shenzhen is very low, and then they all just forget that he's actually there because he's like repelled up, and they just ignore him, and then they're like, oh shit, this man exists, so they start just chasing him, and Asco just gets so much free damage in with his E and his minions.
These 2 item spikes coming in exactly when they needed it, and it's just that's gonna hurt a lot for TSBA as they just opened the tier 2, and Nasus was split pushing in the top lane that entire time as well.
Yeah, was that a 4v5 that they just lost?
I
they
believe
did get
it
the
was.
Drake.
I don't think
But-
Curly was there.
Oh yeah, okay, so that was just a 4v4. But they hard lost it, so that's not
Yeah,
good.
they did hard lose it. Curly did actually opt in for the QSS, delaying his double item spike a little bit, but of course he wasn't there for that Drake fight, so it doesn't mean too much. Malzahar picking up 4 kills and a 550
Ah, he's
gold down.
almost there.
Yeah, he now has Leandres, that 2 item spike as I was saying. Both Muramanas for both 80 carries are stacking up. Ezreal's is almost done, and so is Kaisa, sitting about 150 mana each. And once those are stacked up, I think it's going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah, Curly's is also almost done, so once he
Curly
hit,
as well, yes.
Yeah, once all of the Murmanas are stacked, this is going to be a lot of damage coming out.
Sam
I-
might be punished for his positioning here.
I feel like NASA should just
Or
go...
looking for the flank.
Oh,
No.
I feel
Oh,
like if
okay.
NASA goes Ninja Tabbies and Adaptive Helm, then no one can kill him because Corki is auto attacks and magic damage. Kaisa has auto attacks and magic
why does-
damage,
Why does
and
he have
Morta
merchants?
is... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, in this specific lane, I don't think that Ninja Tabbies are better for him. But like, it's in the team, once the team fights show up, it's gonna be way better. I think it should have just had like boots and then just not upgraded them for a while.
Yeah, Nasus already a big split push threat, sitting at 500 stacks now, but he might actually get 1v1 by this Mordekaiser. But it does look like he's looking for the kill himself. That Wither is coming in huge, the attack speed debuff. He's just spamming these Qs. That might actually be a kill for Nasus. Oh my god, picks up plus 12 onto the Mordekaiser, who's he shadow realmed, but he actually got sent there himself.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, he has a lot of magic resist. He has a lot of stacks, and obviously the Spirit Visage and the Grasp and his innate lifesteal will actually like just make him so hard to kill.
And with that kill, they end up starting up Baron as well. Samvidi out of position again for no reason. He does end up killed by Curly, but Curly also out of position, doubling forward. The Assault and Battery doesn't pick up anybody. Shenzhen eating forward with the QSS onto the Ignite. And Shenzhen does end up dying on his own. AD Reflection ults in, but almost dies himself. Asco does get picked off. Curly playing on the edge of this fight and playing it very well, but does end up that the last kill goes
It
over
was
to
so
AD Reflection.
weird, because Curly Wing in was kind of int, but then he backed off, and then Shenzhen went after him, which was also kind of int. And then,
Mechanical misplays all over the place.
well, it wasn't necessarily mechanical. Also, Shenzhen is rushing Morello, while the enemy team doesn't really have any healing. LS, get on this man. Get him.
Leandres, only Leandres, and that's all you gotta build. Only Leandres. No Morello. Morello, bad item.
I mean, Oblivion Orb is fine, but like, everyone has enough MR on the enemy team to just absolutely negate your pen. So
Yeah.
it's not gonna do anything.
At least not really showing up
Yeah.
this game, Shenzhen. Feel
It's-
bad for you, Bait.
I don't know why they banned it in the first game, but that might just be me.
It might just been op.gg shivers.
Yeah.
Muramana stacked on all 3 champions now, so a lot of damage coming in. Of course, TSBA have picked up 2 Drakes, so if they pick
Kaisa
up
also
this-
has E-evolve, by the way, at this point.
Oh, he does have the Stinger, meaning she does have the E-evolve, as you pointed out. Nasus is still being a huge split push threat. He's already taken out 2 tier 2 turrets, excuse me. TSBA, if they pick this up, this is going to be Cloud Soul, but it does look like the TP is going to come out from Nasus. They're going to try and steal this!
Oh,
Shenzhen ends
not
up stealing
again.
it. That delays the power spike. That's huge for HH. But the package is used to try and put some damage onto the Malzahar, but of course his passive
Rome
negates
jumping
the
in
super.
there.
Does end up, SamVT does try and E4 to try and kill onto the Curly, but it doesn't end up doing anything. The Death Realm is used onto the Nasus, but the Wither with the CDR means that he can constantly spam it. It is so disgusting. Nasus is just going to pick up another plus 12 in the pocket of the split push threat. Big coming up huge with the TP in the flank.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying Elise isn't showing up, but she does manage to steal the Drakes every single time. Like, if she didn't, this would have already been sold for the side
Fast
of
burst.
TSBA. But yeah,
Oh.
build is kind of int. I feel like he could have gotten out as well if he E'd towards the Blast Cone, but, you know, just small things.
Curly getting bursted quite hard in these fights, and then he just ends up coming with a sliver of health. I feel like these
He
positioning
could have definitely been
misplays-
killed there by Senfete if he just
Yeah.
flashed forward and autoed him once.
These positional misplays could spell death for both these teams, as gold doesn't matter if you're in the middle of the dredge line.
If you're an ADC without any defensive shits. Oh,
Oh
did it?
wow, 8 HP.
No, it did
Curly ended
go
up
to
taking the blue
Asco.
buff.
No, it did go to Asco.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Barely though.
barely. I thought the Q landed the.
Yeah, I thought so too,
8
but I
HP.
thought like one of those flashes going towards Asco. Like they're the same kind of thing that you get when you're like a Vladimir, like and you cue someone that like the healing thingy, but like in blue.
Yeah. Clearing vision now around the Drake, or Baron, excuse me, of course, this being the biggest objective on the map right now. Beeg does not have TP, but ABC Man Tank and Curly both do, so of course they can sit on split push threats if they want to try and force them off the Baron, but they do have quite a quick Baron take for HH. As well as TSPA, excuse me.
HH is a very fast Baron with the the Malzahar minions and the Nasus, so they can definitely start it up.
Ezreal opting for the Death Dance third item instead of the Bork as well, so he is just going to be there to try and not die.
I mean, if he really wanted to not die, he should have gone Iceborne, but...
I mean, Iceborne when it's mostly magic damage.
I mean, you still have a Vi to deal with. And Kai'Sa's
Yeah.
still very AD heavy in the early stages.
True. Hentai Haven actually just dominating the top side of this jungle, trying to get as much vision and control and priority as they can.
Start the
But
Baron.
Mordekaiser is pressuring the bot lane while this is all happening, so they end up starting the Baron. They're doing it quite quickly. I don't think that TSBA realize how quickly they're doing it. This could be a possible steal. Shirtless looking for it, but he ends up not going in with the Q. This is TP coming out from the Mordekaiser. Sam Vita is CC'd, but he ends up putting out the True Shot drop, hitting nobody. Assault and Battery used onto the Malzahar, but he ends up using the Nethercraft back, and that ends up being another kill. Shadow Realm onto Shenzhen, but not much happening there either.
Literally the
Men's-
least valuable target he ults, and then Shenzhen just repels, and then Zhonya's is like... He could have
Being
like
just
legit
running down
ulted
Curly.
anyone but Nasus, or like he could have ulted the Ezreal or the Malzahar and killed them, but like instead he goes for
No,
for the
Shenzhen.
elites.
The Baron was already taken, but you gotta ult the jungle.
And also,
B-
Shirtless was like chilling like in a position where he couldn't actually get over the wall with Q, even if he wanted to.
Incorrect usage of the combo there, but I won't point that out. Trying to E4 to try and get some damage there. They can probably just take this inhib without any... No? They're not going to go for that? Alright.
They should have gotten it easy.
Yep, I believe so too. Beak taking the top tower as well. Sitting at 717 stacks at 30 minutes. That is one scary dog. As you saw in the fight, he was just running down Curly in the backline, having to QSS from the Wither, but not that can stop him. Once Nasus gets enough CDR under his belt, and he has been maxed, he maxed his Wither secondary, and with 45 CDR, very interesting. It has a 6.05 second cooldown, and the Wither is a 6-second cooldown. So, as I am trying to say, it is a permanent Wither. That is not very fun.
Yeah, it's actually very fucking annoying. Like, there's nothing you can do to run away from him. And I
Yeah.
feel like at this point, it's gonna get really rough for the side of TSBA with how strong this Nasus has become.
No Drakesol up for anybody yet, but the Drake is spawning, and this will be a point of contention. They might just leave this V trying to turtle as much as they can, but the package is up on Corky, and I think they're just going to leave it be. They're kind of just sitting there, not doing much right now.
Yeah, but they don't need to, I guess. Like, there's no way that if TSBA tries to contest it and they lose, they just lose the game instantly.
Package is used, but they might just be able to push in mid lane here and try and get the in-hit. As they are 5 people in the mid lane right now with the Baron buff. Corky is backing. Oh, the Flash Cocoon is used onto the Recalling, lost and broken. He has to use his Flash himself, but he ends up falling. Dredgeline does not save him, and that is another kill over to Asco. 6-2 onto this Malzahar.
They still have the Baron as well. They might be able to end, they only have 15 seconds left though, but they might be able to end this.
Mordekaiser does have the Death Realm. I don't know why they're backing off. I mean, Corky's already chunked from the minions. That just goes to show how much damage that HH are doing right now.
The very late QSS, he's still dead.
Oh, that's the Nethergrass use on the Vi, but he does not end up falling. He does get out in the end. Samvede, not sure what he's doing. He might be looking for the kill, but he is a bit away from his team. The Vi does end up healing in the fountain, and that is just going to be a reset for the fight, but they end up pushing it. Baron buff is out, but the TP
this game is over.
Yeah, it does look like if they don't do anything now, this is over. The ultimate is used, but that is just repelled away from Shenzhen, and that is a lot of damage onto the Vi. The Death Realm is used onto the Nasus. The Nasus could just be autoing the Nexus right now, but instead he wants to use the extra stats. And that is HH taking the series, playoffs, TSBA, goodbye. Say hello to the new reigning king.
Say hello to the new reigning, still in playoffs.
Still in playoffs, but you gotta say it for hype's sake because it's very late. 3 games, and yeah, HH, they definitely deserve to win that game, but
yeah, for sure.
Mordekaiser trying to do his best to try and save the game, sitting at the top of the damage charts, but more consistently, 3 people on the side of Hentai Haven were sitting quite well in terms of damage as well. Samvede definitely doing way better than he's shown in the past 2 games. Asco as well on the Malzahar, picking up a quadra kill around that Drake fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's way easier if you just put him on a champ that only has to press R, I suppose.
And of course the Nasus, can't forget the Nasus, a constant split push threat, just AFK farming, not much that the Mordekaiser could do, and he really felt it. Putting him in the Death Realm, it's like, I'm going to try and 1v1 you, not realizing that the 50% cooldown reduction in the ulti means that he can just spam Q after every auto attack, and he just ends up falling, and from there it was just, yeah, they just fumbled, and Hentai Haven sort of just steamrolled them in the end. They could have ended a bit earlier, but it's not. I'm not going to point that out. They end up winning. GG from both teams. They both played their hearts out, and they definitely made the casters have their hearts bumping on their chest bumping most of the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm not sure if we do this all the time, but MVP of the series. What do you think?
I think it's hard, but I'm definitely going to probably give it to Beeg.
Yeah, Beeg definitely being very consistent throughout the games, putting on 2 carry performances in terms of the Nasus and the Veigar.
Yeah.
I think I would have to agree with you there. Beeg is a big sandbagger.
Yeah, he was very consistent all across the board in most of it. And I don't know, like Sanvete only stepped up in the last game. The other 2 was pretty much just inting. And same for Shenzhen. He didn't really have an impact in any of the games.
Yeah. AD trying his best, but he was consistent. But
Asco was also getting hard slapped by ABC Mentanki in the second game. So like, the only shining light was really Beeg, but I think that goes for most of their games actually. Like also outside of this series.
So Beeg, well played, MVP. But don't leave just yet, dear viewers. We do have an interview with Ronnie, the support for Hentai Haven, coming up. Welcome, Ronnie. How you doing?
Hey, sorry, wait, I have to mute stream because I heard a ball. Okay. Hey,
Lamau.
Welcome, welcome. So
Cool
you
stuff.
guys just won against the SlowBros Academy. How do you feel?
GG easy. No,
GG
I
easy
actually
kid.
thought we were gonna lose. Like I didn't expect us to get through. It's pretty nice getting carried for once compared to
For
old HH.
For once.
Obviously, very close game one. Second game, not exactly the best play. You guys kind of
What
got
do you mean?
steamrolled.
That was so fucking close.
So clean, you know. And then game three, you guys played very very well. You guys had a lot of fights around certain objectives that definitely showed the power of your team. Was there anything that you guys were worried about in terms of playing TSB before these games?
Well, the thing is, we flip a coin before each game,
Mm.
and then if it lands wrongly, we don't win. So I guess we flipped right this time.
Okay, yeah,
Very
makes
coin
sense.
flip
Why
of
did
you.
you end up swapping Asko and Beak?
Because have you seen Beak's Gnosis and have you seen Esko's Malzahar?
I mean, I've seen them both. Yes, that's. But I hope that was a rhetorical question.
I mean, well, we got hard stomped game two, so we were like, what if we bamboozle them and we put people in other roles without them knowing? Because usually they ban like Nasus for Beak and Malzahar for Asko.
yeah,
So
gets most of the VL people quite riled up if they play into people that and they swap roles. They're like, how do we know what to ban if they don't know what roles to go?
You might be seeing some feedback coming in from TSBA that they want these role swaps to be removed, as it does end up working out for you guys in the end. That quadra kill for Asko was not something we
yeah,
expected. That was quite
that's
a
very
turnaround.
spicy.
You also played your heart out in two of these games, if I recall correctly. So well played for you, and well played for Hentai Haven. Congratulations on winning your. I believe it's the first playoff game for you guys.
Yeah, there's no other
Yeah,
playoffs,
something
so
like that.
yes.
Yep. All right. Well played, and congratulations, and well
Thank
played
you.
as well to TSBA. And thank you
It was
guys,
a valiant
everybody.
effort.
Yeah, valiant effort, and in the Valiant League, I don't know, whatever. Trying to make a joke, didn't work.
So close. So close.
Thanks, Ryan, for the first laughter. Means a
You're
lot.
That
welcome.
was the realest laugh I've heard in years.
Yeah,
It's
sad.
the first
Big
time I
depressing.
laughed in years.
That must be Ryan
You must
doing.
have laughed when they picked
Oh.
you Braum, right? Sarcastic laugh.
I wanted Tom Kench, but Asko was like, nope, you're on Brown duty, so
Tom Kench, Takeem Sam from Inting.
yeah. I can just eat
so
him
good,
the
man.
entire time. He can't int if he can't play.
Yummy. Yumbly 80 carry. Well, once again, well played from both sides. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been the Balance League Div 4 playoffs between Hentai Haven and the SlowBros Academy. Thank you, and hope to see you guys in the next one.
Poodle-a-dokie, as they say.